Chapter 905. Xianxia came back to her senses and ignored Li Jianyu's heckling. She turned to look at Shui. Shui was also looking at her. The girl reached out her small hand and wanted to touch Shui, but she paused in the air as if she was afraid that it was still an illusion. In the next moment, Shui held her hand tightly and wrapped it in his palm. "It's me." His low voice spoke louder than 1,000 words. Xianxia sniffled and lowered her head, her eyelashes trembling. Li Jianyu shouted, "Daddy, sure, may I be so bold as to say that you're in the wrong? Doesn't Sister E just want to drink some wine? Is this small request too much?" "It's not." The live stream was as lively as ever and no one felt that time had paused. "Shui, be a human. Look at how aggrieved Sister E is. Give our Xianxia some fruit wine. Immediately. Immediately. Quickly. Why can't she drink it today? Our Sister E can drink it whenever she wants." Shui gently rubbed Xiangyi's slender wrist with one hand and turned off the microphone with the other. He whispered in her ear, "Don't worry. Don't worry, I'm not leaving, okay?" Xiangyi rested her forehead on his shoulder and said in a muffled voice, "Then, pinky swear." Shui chuckled and did as he was told. The two hooked their pinkies in the air and pressed their thumbs together. There was always someone who could make you do all the childish things in the world with him willingly. The crowd didn't know what was going on, but they were still touched by the sweetness. The audience was all chewing on the candy. However, the scene on Weibo was different. At the end of the live stream, Yunduan Company posted on Weibo, which roughly meant that the live stream of Xianxia, Shui, and Yan Kai had broken the record. They were currently the best in the live stream industry. It was such a Weibo post that made the fans of the female livestream who was on the hot search list in the morning unhappy. They all left comments to complain. "Come on, you don't even have a specific number and you have the nerve to talk about breaking a record?" The two titles of Breaking Records and #1 Cargo Carrier are exclusive to our goddess, okay? Please don't use it indiscriminately, thank you. My goddess is so pitiful. The entertainment industry is so pitiful. She's so gentle, yet her works are so good. She even set a record for being the #1 salesperson in the industry, yet she's still being stepped on by some marketing experts. I'm going to cry to death. The netizens were too lazy to eat this melon. Fans of a certain goddess, do you really not know what's going on? I'm dying of laughter. Since when did breaking records and being #1 in goods delivery become exclusive titles? According to your logic, tenderness in the world is Sister Yi's title. What right do you have to use it? Don't bother with this rotten melon. Friends, many big shots have come out to slap faces. That night, it became a hot topic that countless netizens talked about for many days. First of all, the cloud computing company had become even more powerful. Yunduan V. Sorry for the wait, everyone. Due to the large number of sales figures, in order to ensure that there are no errors, our calculations have taken some time. Tonight's livestream of goods delivery has adopted the format of the first simultaneous livestream of goods delivery both at home and abroad. It has also received the support of our country's officials, as well as those of many other countries overseas. We are deeply honored. The total sales figures during the livestream were 14.7 billion yuan. Thank you at Xianxia, at Shui, at Yan Kai for bringing glory to domestic goods e-commerce and online shopping. As soon as this Weibo post was posted, it was reposted by the Chinese officials. The caption was concise and comprehensive. They have brought glory to the country. Chapter 906. The netizens were in an uproar. Oh my god, this isn't Nanqing's official account, but China's official account. In other words, Xianxia and the other two had been recognized by the country. That was not the end of it. Following that, all the major media outlets in the country reposted the post, and in the blink of an eye, several trending topics related to Xianxia and the other two appeared. #glory for the country. #Xianxia Shui. Yan Kai livestreamed his sales. #domestic and overseas livestream sales exceed 10 billion. Each and every trending topic made countless celebrities envious. Spicy Tutu, Shui's sister, Untimely, and Yan Kai's fans were all extremely proud. There was nothing happier than a fan being recognized by others. The netizens also felt that Xianxia and the other two were really amazing. Yan Kai's previous highest sales volume was more than 5 billion yuan, but this time, it had almost tripled. Someone directly tagged a certain goddess's fan under the Weibo post reposted by China's official account. Are you there? Come and get beaten up. Is your face swollen? Does it hurt? Your goddess's sales volume is only a little more than 100 million yuan. Of course, 100 million yuan is not a small amount, but it's not even worthy of carrying Sister Yi's shoes, understand? I'm dying of laughter. It's one thing to brag about being number one with more than 100 million yuan, but what kind of idiotic behavior is it to trample on Sister Yi? Why can't you guys use the brains that humans have evolved over millions of years? A certain female celebrity's fan insisted, it's fake. It's all fake. Must be fake. It's just a live stream, how can it sell so many goods? Do you think foreigners are stupid? Then Yun Company posted another post on Weibo, as if waiting for these people to court death. Yun v. I'm sorry to inform everyone that there's a problem with our sales statistics. A certain female celebrity's fans did not even bother to read the full text. They only read the first sentence and began to mock and ridicule her, vividly explaining what it meant to be bisexual. See. Yun Company has come out to refute the rumors. Xianxia's sales volume is not more than 10 billion yuan. It's fake news. After reading the full text, the netizens laughed uncontrollably, but they still deliberately played along with them. Yes, you're all right. Yes, it's all fake news, doghead. Your goddess is the best. Sister Yi is just an ordinary girl, doghead. In fact, the full text of the cloud computing company's statement was, Yunduan v. I'm sorry to inform everyone that there's a problem with our sales statistics. In the previous livestream, only the domestic sales were included. The 11.6 billion sales overseas were not included. Correction, the total livestream sales were 26.3 billion. Once again, we apologize for our mistake. Therefore, a strange scene appeared on the internet that night. Later, it was summarized by netizens as #human IQ atavism. Not long after Cloud Company's correction on Weibo was posted, the official Weibo account of Country F's embassy also updated its status. The video posted by the embassy quickly became a hot topic on the internet. It was a speech of gratitude from the president of Country F to Xianxia and the other two. Hello friends from all over the world. I am the president of Country F, Charles. Here on behalf of all the citizens of Country F, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Xianxia, Shui, and Yan Kai. Thank you for making such a huge contribution to Country F's economy. China has imported a lot of raw materials from Country F and produced excellent products. I hope that we can maintain harmonious economic and trade relations. The citizens of our two countries will always be connected. Chapter 907. France was small in size and its industry was not very developed. Its economic development mainly depended on the export of various raw materials. Hua Nation was their largest importer. The president personally came forward to express his gratitude, partly out of diplomatic considerations, but more importantly out of genuine gratitude. The rise of Chinese products also meant an opportunity for them. The number of likes, shares, and comments on the thank you speech skyrocketed. The netizens also truly felt how influential Xianxia and the others, as well as Two Under One Roof, were. Sister Yi is awesome. Shui is awesome. He's awesome. To be frank, the president of a country has come out to give a thank you speech. No one will dare to refute me if I say that little Laozi is a god, right? A certain female celebrity's fans are going to be slapped in the face, aren't they? I don't know if your fans are miserable or not, but your fans are miserable. The ones who were the proudest were none other than Spicy Tutu. Our sister E is being praised again. Happy. The Shui sisters were also feeling proud. There were many people who immediately jumped on the bandwagon. There were even some who directly became fans of Spicy Tutu and Untimely Couple. Afterwards, the major brands also took to the stage one after another to announce the sales figures of their brands and express their gratitude to Xianxia and the others. At 11:59 p.m. Yun Company posted another update on their Weibo. Yun v. Tonight we won a great victory. This Weibo post was liked more than 1 million times. That night, Xianxia, Shui, Yan Kai, Two Under One Roof Yun Company, as well as the major brands of Chinese products, all made their presence felt in the hearts of many people. In the manner. After supper, everyone in the yard was so full that they were swaying left and right. Although they were physically exhausted, they were inexplicably excited. Li Jianyu in particular, even sang a song in public in order to express his feelings. As soon as he opened his mouth, everyone's expressions changed. Xianxia and Shui were the only ones who remained calm. When he sang the chorus, some people couldn't help but plug their ears. How could there be someone who could sing a good luck song that could stop children from crying at night? Li Jinyu was so immersed in his singing that he couldn't extricate himself. If Wan Qing hadn't intervened in time, everyone would have been tortured by him for a long time. Wan Qing grabbed Li Jinyu's collar and pulled him back to his seat. She asked, "Since everyone is here, let's talk about the guest arrangements for the last episode." Li Jinyu was still unsatisfied. "Let me sing a few more lines." "I'm not satisfied yet. I think everyone likes my singing." "Everyone. Not really. A smart woman should learn to pretend to be deaf and dumb when necessary." Wan Qing knew this very well. She pretended not to hear Li Jinyu's words and turned to look at Xianxia. "Sister E, what do you think?" Xianxia was puzzled. "Where are the original guests?" Li Jinyu said awkwardly, "To be honest, I didn't think that the show would make it to the end. Also, we couldn't invite any guests, so the guest list for the last episode was blank." Later, Two Under One Roof became popular and there were more guests to choose from, but Li Jinyu had always felt that there were no suitable candidates. Someone suggested, "Why don't we invite all the guests who have been on the show?" Wan Qing vetoed the suggestion. "People like C7 and Zhong Yi have all received offers in advance. If we invite them now, we won't be able to arrange their schedules." Shui said, "Why don't we invite Sister E and my family? We can get engaged while we work." Everyone. Chapter 908. You're indeed Shui's dog. Other people would at most travel on public funds or take paid sh*t, but you're doing both at the same time. Amazing. While everyone was complaining in their hearts, they heard Xiangyi's gentle and clean voice. "Okay." Li Jinyu was overjoyed. Okay, I'll make the arrangements right away." Wan Qing was also instantly energized. "Leave the decorations of the engagement venue and the guests to me. I'll make sure everything is arranged properly for you." "Oh, thank you." The girl was a little embarrassed and whispered, "I'll call my brother and the others tomorrow." Everyone thought, "I'm the clown? When will the country get a girlfriend like Sister E?" However, at the thought that the last episode would be the ending of Two Under One Roof, and the engagement of Shui and Xianxia, everyone was full of enthusiasm. The planner, scriptwriter and the others were all present. With the brainstorming of the other staff members, they really came up with many wonderful plans. Everyone was in the midst of a heated discussion, unaware that a certain best actor had already taken the little bunny back to his nest. At 2 o'clock in the morning, the little bunny was carried out of the bathroom by a certain best actor. Shui gently placed the girl on the bed. As soon as Xianxia touched the bed, she trembled subconsciously, causing the man to chuckle. Xianxia was embarrassed and covered her head with the quilt. "Don't cover yourself so tightly." Shui raised his hand and pulled the quilt down a little, revealing half of the girl's face. Xiangyi's voice was as soft as cotton candy. "I'm sleepy, go to sleep." Xianxia asked seriously, "What's the meaning of the word, sleep?" Shui didn't know whether to laugh or cry. "Yawn." The girl heaved a sigh of relief and sat up with the quilt in her arms. She leaned against the soft and fluffy pillow at the head of the bed and asked, "Have you really thought about what the little white tiger said?" "Yes." Shui lifted the quilt and lay beside her. The little girl rested her forehead on his shoulder. "First, it's not trustworthy. Second, it's unnecessary. Third," he paused and said in a low voice, "I've never wanted anything. I've only been greedy once and that's enough." To be able to stay by Xiangyi's side for a long time was his greatest greed. Xianxia hugged him and rubbed against his collarbone like a cat. The room was quiet for a while before the young lady spoke in a gentle voice. "I'm very touched, but I don't want you to feel burdened because of me. If one day, if you regret it, just tell me. I'll respect all your choices." Just like how Shui had never asked for anything else, she had always been the same. Being liked was a blissful thing, but not being liked was no big deal. It was just that he would feel sad. After being sad for a long time, she got used to it. "Chasing me away?" Shui noticed the change in the girl's mood and deliberately teased her. "Sorry, I'm thick-skinned and I don't mind being a rogue." Xianxia said, "I'm serious, huh? Didn't you say that you wanted to sleep?" Shui raised his eyebrows. The best way to stop her from letting her imagination run wild was to make her lose the energy to let her imagination run wild. In the kitty villa, Xiao Naofu was lying alone on its large hammock, playing with its tail out of boredom. Damned fat cat. Hearing the childish voice of a child, Xiao Naofu's eyes widened as he vigilantly looked around. Whoosh, the illusion reappeared. The little white tiger floated in the air and sized up Xiao Naofu in disdain. Change your name, or I'll stop little Shiji from getting reincarnated. Chapter 909. Xiao Naofu meowed habitually, but as soon as it opened its mouth, it discovered, I can speak now. Little white tiger looked down at it condescendingly. Not only are you fat but you're also stupid. Atrocious. I'm not fat. That stupid woman said that all big tigers are as strong as me. Little white tiger rolled its eyes. I'm the big tiger. You're just a stray cat. The word stray cat deeply hurt Xiao Naofu's nerves. It pursed its lips, turned over and ignored little white tiger. Hey. Little white tiger changed its angle and called out, stupid fat cat, change your name, do you hear me? It tried to read Xiao Naofu's thoughts only to realize that Xiao Naofu's thoughts were too simple. Boo-hoo-hoo, it's so annoying. Why does its fur look smoother than mine? Am I not the most handsome tiger in the world? Little white tiger was speechless. Ever since he took charge of the fast crossing program, he had dealt with too many scheming, insidious and cunning people. He had seen countless forms of creatures show their despicable nature, but when he suddenly encountered a silly creature like Xiao Naofu, he quite liked it. Little white tiger coughed. Hey stupid fat. Xiao Naofu, do you want to know where little Shiji is? Xiao Naofu's ears twitched and pricked up. Little white tiger knew that cats' hearing was dozens of times better than humans. Besides, they were in its illusion, so Xiao Naofu could definitely hear it. Here, let me show you. It conjured a screen that resembled a television. I'm not looking, I don't care if it can be reincarnated or not. Xiao Naofu deliberately covered its eyes with its meaty paws, but it quietly opened a gap. In the picture, a majestic lion was tearing at a magical beast opposite it. Little white tiger took out a carrot from somewhere and explained while chewing on it. This is its original body. Actually, it's quite powerful and can be considered a semi-mythical beast. It's quite ironic that it was tortured to death by a human who had signed a contract with it. It had accumulated enough points and could be reincarnated as a cat or a dog. However, it wanted to reincarnate as a human and raise you, so it requested to quickly transmigrate to another world to accumulate more points. I really don't understand. He was clearly hurt by the creature he was protecting, so why would he protect another creature? Seeing Xiao Naofu's current appearance, its voice suddenly stopped. The little kitten's icy blue eyes were filled with tears, as if they would fall at any moment. The mind-reading skill was activated and little white tiger could feel all of Xiao Naofu's sadness. It was real, pure and not mixed with any other sadness. Its ears instantly drooped down. Xiao Naofu sobbed. This hoo-hoo doesn't care about it. I don't care what it does, it has nothing to do with me even if it dies. Before he could finish his sentence, the lion on the screen was clawed by the magical beast on the opposite side, and a few bone-deep wounds appeared on its face. Xiao Naofu wailed even harder. Little white tiger felt a headache coming on. Although it was omnipotent, it didn't know how to coax people. Not to mention coaxing a cat. Seeing Xiao Naofu curled into a ball and crying, its tears dripping onto its meaty paws, its heart melted into a mess. Forget it, it's just the same name. What bad intentions could such a cute kitten have? Chapter 910. Hence, little white tiger scratched a few times in the air, and the lion on the screen instantly dealt with the magical beast on the opposite side as if it had been helped by God. Little white tiger said proudly, "You're welcome, I just helped it cheat." In a certain Western fantasy plane, little Shiji was confused. Why did I suddenly become stronger? Little did it know that it didn't have to spend money at all. It had become a cheat just by relying on a few drops of Xiao Naofu's tears. Xiao Naofu stared blankly at this scene. After a few seconds, it finally reacted and looked away fiercely. I don't care if it's all right or not, let alone if you're powerful. However, its thoughts had already been read by the little white tiger. Ah, that's great, little Shiji. How can this tiger not only be more handsome than me, but it's also much more impressive than me? Invisible flattery was the most pleasing to the tiger. Little white tiger wagged its tail in an arc in the air, so fast that it almost left afterimages. On the account that you don't know anything, I won't hold it against you for having the same name as me. Xiao Naofu tilted its head and asked, Are you also called Xiao Naofu? Who gave you that name? Your master? It's the woman my master likes, a very annoying rabbit spirit. Little white tiger looked a little lonely, and the carrot in its hand was no longer fragrant. She may be a little annoying but I still miss her. No one tastes better than the carrots she grows. No, wake up. Master died because of her. At the thought of this, little white tiger threw the carrot away angrily. Let me tell you, women are the most terrifying creatures in the infinite universe. You must stay away from women, including that stupid woman inside. She's the one who dragged our Lord Shui down. Xiao Naofu knew that it was the main system and had always been very cowardly. However, it suddenly stood up and roared at little white tiger. Shut up. I'm the only one who can call her a stupid woman. You're not allowed, you're not allowed. Little white tiger was dumbfounded. Ah, this distant and long-lost feeling. How long has it been since someone dared to treat me like this? Little fatty, you've successfully attracted my attention. You damned little kitty, do you know what you're saying? Little white tiger said arrogantly, the one in front of you is the divine white tiger, the servant of Lord God, the protector of the universe's order, the guardian of the transmigration system, the good friend of the rabbit spirit. Before it could say the word friend, it swallowed it back down. Damn it. It was all that woman's fault. She could have just thought of the first few lines. Why did she have to add the last line? Even after so many years, it was still unable to get rid of this habit. Xiao Naofu took 2 steps back, but it retreated too quickly. Its soft and chubby body lost its balance and sat down with a thud. Its eyes were blank and innocent, and it looked weak, helpless, and pitiful. All of a sudden, it struck the little white tiger's heart. It was such a cute kitten. Why couldn't she forgive it? Wasn't it just yelling at it? All of the creatures that had done this had been struck by divine lightning and burned by divine flames. However, little white tiger only gave Xiao Naofu's head a hard rub and left a harsh remark. If you dare to yell at me again, I'll rub you until you're bald. Xiao Naofu? It's really a kind and forgiving tiger. Naturally, this thought was read by the little white tiger. Before it left, it gave Xiao Naofu a bunch of hacks and didn't forget to pick up the carrot. Chapter 9:11. Xiao Naofu tilted its little head, still unaware of what had happened. The next day, when Xianxia woke up, she was empty beside her, but there was a furry and warm kitten in her arms. Morning, stupid woman. Morning. Xianxia responded tiredly. Suddenly, she realized that something was wrong and stared at Xiao Naofu. How did you know how to talk? The kitten's voice was soft and coquettish. After that white tiger came to find me yesterday, this tiger suddenly learned how to talk. Main system? Xianxia thought for a while. Maybe it's compensation for you? Probably. Xiao Naofu rubbed against the cloud-like softness and said coquettishly, Stupid woman, this tiger is hungry. I want to eat shrimp, fish, and pumpkin-covered rice. Xianxia smiled and pinched the back of its neck. What did you call me? Xiao Naofu. Oh no. I accidentally said what's on my mind. The soft and white kitten instantly cowered. This tiger, I didn't call you a stupid woman. Xianxia had a hard time holding back her laughter, but her expression was deliberately cold. Lying kitten, you won't get to eat. Xiao Naofu looked at its paws and didn't dare to look at her. I know I was wrong. Xianxia couldn't hold back and kissed it on the forehead. Why is our little Naofu so cute? Xianxia went to the kitchen to make cat food. Xiao Naofu saw butterflies outside through the floor-to-ceiling windows and ran out to play with them. When the staff passing by saw it, they couldn't take their eyes off it. Oh my god, why is Xiao Naofu so cute? Yeah, its looks are simply amazing. Don't you think that Xiao Naofu fits all the beautiful images humans have of cats? Unknowingly, a large group of people surrounded it, taking photos and feeding it. After catching the butterflies, Xiao Naofu turned around and saw so many people. It let out a cold and proud meow. Screams erupted from the crowd. Ah, it's meowing, it's meowing. Why is this kitten's meowing sound so nice? Xiao Naofu? What's wrong with these humans? What it didn't know was that its ability to speak human language, perfect appearance and heavenly voice were just the tip of the iceberg of the many cheats that the little white tiger had given it. On Weibo, the official Weibo account of Two Under One Roof posted a good morning greeting with a picture of a 9-grid grid. Shi Sui and Xianxia each had one photo, and the other 7 were all Xiao Naofu's. At first, some netizens complained, "Come on, we want to see Shi Sui's sister E, not some random cat, okay?" But when everyone clicked on the photo, everyone was stunned. Everyone's pupils trembled. Everyone acted out the famous philosopher's law. How fragrant! What kind of adorable kitten is this? Axax debut as a C. You must take the flowery path. Are the kitten's eyes sapphire? I can't believe a cat is so handsome. In the blink of an eye, this Weibo post was liked tens of thousands of times, and Xiao Naofu's photo was widely circulated. In just one morning, a super hot topic about Xiao Naofu, a fan club and a fan support website were all set up. Its popularity made countless celebrities sad and shed tears. Humans are inferior to cats. That was not the end of it. Many directors directly contacted Sichuan Bai. Forget it if your artist doesn't want to act anymore. Why don't you let your cat come out and work? The price is negotiable. Sichuan Bai? Chapter 9:12. Is Shi Sui a has-been? She is, right? She used to look for me for collaborations, but why is it Xiao Naofu now? Here, look at the trending searches. Anan handed his phone to him. Sichuan Bai skimmed through it and finally understood what was going on. To put it simply, Xiao Naofu was on fire. And it was exploding in popularity. Two Under One Roof specially set up an account dedicated to sharing Xiao Naofu's daily life. In just one day, the number of fans quickly exceeded 5 million. And the number was still increasing. As soon as a photo or video of Xiao Naofu was uploaded, it would definitely dominate the trending searches. Hence, in the following period of time, in addition to watching the warm daily lives of Shi Sui and Xianxia, the netizens' favorite hobby was to watch various videos of Xiao Naofu. A few days later, Xiao Naofu's account had more than 10 million fans on Weibo, and there were also many fans on the short video platform. Its popularity was also extremely high overseas. In particular, the video of Xianxia and Xiao Naofu appearing on camera at the same time was loved by netizens all over the world. While the netizens were laughing and joking as usual, they saw an update on the official Weibo of Two Under One Roof. Two Under One Roof v. 2 months ago, Xianxia Shi Sui met everyone through the medium of livestream. 2 months later, we ushered in the last livestream. It's goodbye, but it's also not. Starting from 9 o'clock a.m. tomorrow, we will livestream the entire day to bid everyone a proper farewell. As soon as this Weibo post was posted, some netizens thought it was a joke. Ha, did your account get hacked? How can such a popular variety show end? Isn't it good to make money? It's actually been 2 months? I feel like we just started watching Little Cut yesterday. However, as time passed, no staff came out to clarify. Instead, Shi Sui, Xianxia, Li Jianyu and the others all reposted this Weibo post. Shi Sui v. It's a pleasure to meet you again in this lifetime. Xianxia v. It's good to be cherished in this lifetime. Li Jianyu v. I'm very happy to be able to produce such a variety show. I'm very happy that everyone affectionately calls it Little Trashy. I'm very happy that so many people like Shi Sui and Xianxia, but all good things must come to an end. Thank you for your continued support. We won't say goodbye. The netizens were dumbfounded. Then the entire internet exploded. Subconsciously, everyone knew that there would be a day when the story would end, but when that day came, they were not willing to believe it. Huh. No way, right? Together in the end? No. You can also reduce your livestream time in the future. Can you livestream 1 day a week or half a month? I won't be able to see Shi Ingdi's sister E and Xiao Naofu anymore? Storm is crying, please continue the live broadcast. Hot searches on Weibo, hot posts on forums, video analysis. There were discussions about the upcoming end of Two Under One Roof everywhere. However, no matter how unwilling everyone was to accept it, this day still came. At 8:50 p.m., the live broadcast room was still dark, but the number of people watching online had easily exceeded 10 million. In fact, since last night, there were already loyal fans hanging up in the live broadcast room. The discussion forum was as lively as ever. Some were sad, some were skeptical, and some were praying. At 8:59 a.m., time ticked by. When the needle pointed to 9 a.m., the live broadcast room lit up. The first thing that caught everyone's attention was the staff on site. Li Jianyu stood in the middle of the crowd and said with a smile, Welcome to the last episode of Two Under One Roof! Chapter 9:13. As soon as he spoke, the eyes of many people in front of the screen turned red. Li Jinyu was considered the most easygoing variety director. When the netizens teased him, he would just chuckle and never mind. Dang dang dang, this is our main team. Everyone has worked hard for the past 2 months. If it were any other team, they would probably reply, it's not hard at all, it's our pleasure. Or, director, you've worked hard too. However, the staff of Two Under One Roof replied, yeah, we've worked hard. Can we take paid leave? So, director, when will we get paid? Our children are starving for the rest of the month. After the live stream, will we still be able to eat Sister Yi's cooking in the future? Director, after the show, can you call me Daddy? I've been hiding it from you for a long time. Actually, I'm your Daddy fan. Li Jinyu was speechless. The netizens burst into laughter. It's still a familiar scene. Usually, Li Jinyu would often be criticized by the cameraman, the lighting engineer, and Wan Qing. It was a great hobby of the audience to watch him get criticized. Hey, let's cut to the chase. Li Jinyu gestured. Come on, pull up the banner. Thus, the audience saw the staff pull up a bright red festive banner. Let's celebrate the successful completion of Small Piece. The netizens couldn't help but complain. What the hell is this banner? They call themselves Small Piece. This must be the most self-deprecating program in history, huh? Director, that's enough. I'm laughing so hard before I can cry. As Li Jinyu announced, let's begin the main show. Let's welcome the guests. Everyone's attention followed the direction of the camera. From the lush courtyard to the gate of the manor, it was a familiar scene that everyone had seen countless times in the past 2 months. A dark-colored business car happened to stop at the gate. A young esports god got out of the car and habitually pressed his black cap down. Sensing that the camera was filming him, he raised his head and nodded slightly as a form of greeting. The audience in the livestream began to scream. Turned out to be the esports god Smog. Big brother. The familiar gentle voice was mixed with a little girl's soft and coquettish voice. He saw Xianxia trotting over in her slippers. Her pea-green skirt swayed in a beautiful arc. When Xianxia saw her, the corners of his pursed lips curled up, but when the distance between them closed, he put on the airs of an older brother. Run slower if your legs are short. Xianxia smiled. But I want to see my brother as soon as possible. Xianxia. Give me a shout next time. I have long legs, so it'll be faster if I run to see you. The interaction between the brother and sister caused the bullet screen to say, the country owes me a brother. While the two of them were talking, a flashy blue sports car came from behind. With a drift, Xianxia, who was in the convertible seat, took off his trendy sunglasses and whistled. Third brother. Xianxia waved at him. Xianxia smiled devilishly. What you're wearing today looks pretty good. Every stitch and line of the dress the girl was wearing was personally sewn by him. Of course, he didn't forget to shake the pincushion rabbit on his car keys and show off to Xianxia. This is the little rabbit my sister gave me. I have it, but you don't, Xianxia. He looked at Xianxia faintly. Sister, why don't I have it? Chapter 9:14. Xianxia said smugly, that must be because my sister's favorite brother is me. The girl said weakly, I didn't have time to hook all of them. I only hooked 2. Last time, third brother snatched one away. Xianxia gritted his teeth in displeasure. The next second, a pair of pale and slender hands silently appeared behind Xianxia and casually took away the bunny in his hand. Hey, why does this bunny look like it was given to me by my sister? The camera panned as everyone's eyes fell on the thin but tall Xianxia. The man was wearing a simple white shirt and black trousers. His hair was soft and he wore a pair of silver-rimmed glasses. He looked gentle, elegant, knowledgeable, and calm. However, the smile at the corner of his mouth revealed the childish side of a man. Xianxia was so angry that he stomped his feet. My sister gave it to me. It's mine now, Xianxia said calmly. Xianxia wanted to snatch it back, but Xianxia looked weak and powerless. In fact, he could easily defeat him in martial arts. The two exchanged a few blows. Xianxia's carefully styled hairstyle was messed up, but Xianxia's breathing rate didn't even increase. Some people saw that his hand injury had healed and were excited. Sister Yi's medical skills are amazing. Bullying your brother as soon as his hand injury is healed. Dr. Li is at most 5.5 years old. Dr. Xiang's hand is finally healed. He's a scientist on the level of a national treasure. You must protect him well in the future. As the older brother, how can you bully your younger brother? Xianxia complained. Xiang Li's expression was indifferent as he pushed his glasses up. Aren't younger brothers meant to be bullied by older brothers? Ah! Xianxia, who couldn't win in a fight or an argument, flew into a rage. Xiang Li smiled faintly like a spring breeze. However, a moment later his smile also froze on his face. The felt bunny in his hand was snatched away by a pair of large hands. A low and clear voice sounded in everyone's ears. Little rabbit hooked up with little rabbit? Netizens, lawyer Xiang forbids nesting dolls. Li Jianyu, who was enjoying the show, added fuel to the fire behind the camera. Yes, it was Sister Yi who seduced him. Xianxia, who was dressed in a formal suit and tie, raised his eyebrows and calmly said, "Mine." Xiang Li? With the great demon king here, even if his hand injury had healed, he still wouldn't dare to act recklessly. Therefore, Xiang Li could only watch helplessly as his big brother stuffed the rabbit into his suit pocket without batting an eyelid. Xianxia, however, let out a gloating laugh. Who will be spared by the heavens? Xiang Yu suddenly felt a sense of balance. He even comforted himself, since I'm going to lose it sooner or later, it's better to never have it. The live stream was also filled with laughter. I can watch this family interaction for a year. As expected of the man at the top of the food chain. Dr. Xiang's expression is so similar to this emoji pack, happiness gone. Xianxia put away the felt bunny and looked around. What's the matter? Do you have a problem with that? Xiang Li and the others shook their heads. The Xiang family's motto was, "In life, follow your heart when you should," Xiang Yi said softly. "Later I'll hook you guys up." At this moment Shui walked over with Xiao Naofu in her arms. The man turned his wrist nonchalantly, and the felt bunny made into a bracelet around his wrist bone instantly attracted the attention of the Xiang brothers. "Hello brothers, Do you still want to snatch the bunny?" "Sorry, Sister E was the first to give it to me, everyone." Chapter 9:15. The netizens in the livestream were all laughing their heads off. The fragrance of green tea. Welcome to Sui's tea art lesson. Shui, have you learned a little trick that deserves a beating every day? I can't take it anymore, I'm laughing so hard. Longjing boy Sui, I love him. Invisible smoke filled the air. Seeing that the battle to beat up Shui was about to break out, Xiang Yi made a prompt decision. I'll hook it now. One for each of us. Thus, the livestream viewers witnessed the family return to the living room. Xiang Yi then took out her tools, lowered her head and obediently used a needle to hook the bunnies. Xiang Yi was nimble and deft, and with the guidance of a master craftsman like Xianxia, she could hook a bunny in a few minutes after mastering the trick. However, when it came to distributing the bunnies, an accident happened again. Xiang Yi, one for each of us. She handed them out one by one, only to hear her third brother Xianxia threaten her fourth brother Xiang Yu. Give me yours. Xiang Yu? The young esports god sneered. Why should I? Xianxia flashed his fist. Xiang Yu turned his head and complained, second brother, look at him. He's bullying us. Then both of their bunnies were snatched away by Xiang Li with a grin on his face. Xiang Yi, the netizens, have I seen this episode before? Is this a familiar scene? I suddenly have a bad feeling. Sure enough, the two bunnies that Xiang Li snatched had barely warmed up when he met the gaze of the great devil Xianxia. He confirmed with his gaze. Xianxia said indifferently, give it to me. Xiang Li braced himself. Big brother, I'm not a child anymore, you can't just take them away like that. Xianxia raised his eyebrows. He never liked to talk nonsense. He took off his suit jacket, slowly unbuttoned his cufflinks, and rolled up his shirt, revealing his muscular and beautiful forearm. Xiang Yi wanted to stop the fight, but Shui grabbed her by the collar and pulled her aside. The girl looked at him in confusion. Shui whispered, do you want to know how to solve it? Xiang Yi asked curiously. Kiss me and I'll tell you. Xiang Yi's ears turned red. Is it here? The audience who heard the conversation between the two revealed motherly smiles. Dear, give me a kiss. Stick out your tongue. Continue playing the paid content. Come on, let's go to school together. Untimely has been locked. Seeing that the eldest brother was really going to beat the second brother, Xianxia panicked. She stood on tiptoe and kissed the man on the chin. It was a very light and short kiss, but it made many students scream. The girl's deer-like eyes were full of anticipation. Although she was a little shy, she still asked, "How do we solve it?" Zhou Xian's thin lips curled up slightly as he waved his phone at Xianxia. He dialed Xiangfeng's number. "I'm already at the door, why are you still calling?" "I'm hanging up." After Xiangfeng finished speaking, he swiped his fingerprint and entered the living room. Seeing the tense atmosphere, he was a typical bystander who didn't mind if things got out of hand. He said with a grin, "I'm sorry. Fight. Fight, fight. When your grandpa comes later, he'll definitely beat you up one by one." Xiangfeng waved at Xianxia. "Little Xianxia, come here, let's watch the show together. I bought melon seeds, peanuts, and your favorite ice grape cheese and spicy duck neck." Everyone looked at him in unison. Xiangfeng's expression changed drastically. "Oh no. I let it slip." Chapter 9:16. Xianxia frantically gestured at him, but unfortunately it was too late. Xianxia frowned. "Don't you know that Tutu's period is coming up?" Xiangfeng wanted to slap himself in the face as he forcefully corrected himself. "I didn't buy it for Xianxia, I bought it for myself. I just wanted her to have a taste." Xiangqi said fiercely, "You gave her a taste of something cold? Spicy? Is there such an unreliable uncle like you? You should be fine to have a taste, right?" Xiangfeng said guiltily. In response, Xiangli gave him a kind smile. "Uncle, are you sure?" Xiangfeng's heart. Ah 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 ah. Sob sob sob. Was his mouth blessed? Why did he expose himself as soon as he opened his mouth? He smiled. "Then I'll eat and she'll watch." The Demon King, who had been silent all this time, said, "Torture the little rabbit?" Xiangfeng at #%*. It turned out that whatever he said was wrong. "Hand over all the junk food." Sanction reached out his hand. Not far away, Xianxia pouted, looking extremely pitiful. She loved to cook, but she also loved to eat the junk food outside. Couldn't she have such a simple joy? Zhou Xian's low chuckle entered her ears. "How is it? Problem solved, right?" Xianxia felt as if the moon had been lifted from the clouds. She was suddenly enlightened. It was true. As soon as little uncle opened his mouth, he instantly attracted the attention of everyone present. The brothers had already thrown the matter of fighting over the little rabbit to the back of their minds. The netizens thought, "There doesn't seem to be a problem. I feel like Shi Ingdi is a bit of a dog. The self-confidence point in front, take it away a little. Haha, little uncle would be the strongest MT in the game. His ability to pull aggro is maxed out." In the end, all the junk food was distributed to the staff. Li Jinyu didn't stand on ceremony either. Relying on his privilege as a director, he swung his legs and ate heartily. Xianxia watched him take a sip of the duck neck and drink, her voice soft. "Is it good?" Li Jinyu laughed maniacally. "Ha, delicious. Very delicious." "Xianxia. Then you should eat more." The little girl's lonely figure went to the courtyard to play ball with Xiao Naofu. Swish swish. The sound of footsteps came from behind, followed by the appearance of a sneaky figure. Xianxia subconsciously picked up the broom beside her, but then she heard a familiar voice. "Little Xianxia. It's me." "Little uncle, why don't you use the door or the window?" Xiangfeng chuckled and pulled out a thermos flask from behind him as if he was performing a magic trick, along with a few packs of duck necks. "Hee hee, I even secretly hid one for you." Xianxia. "Little uncle, you're so nice. Good girl, hurry up and eat. Otherwise, I'll be finished if they find out." Xiangfeng said as he unscrewed the lid of the thermos and stuffed it into Xiangxi's hands. He then tore off the packaging of the duck neck. Xianxia had just taken a sip of ice grape cheese, and she was so happy that her eyes narrowed. "This is great." Little did they know that everyone in the livestream was spamming, "Danger alert ahead." In the next second, Xiang Yin's roar sounded from afar. "Little brat. What are you giving Tutu?" Xiang Feng's hand trembled and the packaging was torn apart. The duck neck fell to the ground and rolled to Xiang Yin's feet. He opened his mouth with a look of despair in his eyes. There's no point in spouting nonsense now. Xiang Yin wished he could hit him with his walking stick. Can a girl eat spicy food before she's having her period? Xiang Feng asked in a panicked tone. "Little Xiangyi, where are the trees? Where's the tallest tree?" Chapter 917. Xianxia was speechless. Netizens, haha. I knew it. Uncle won't let us down. I'm dying of laughter. Xiang Fengfeng's mouth is definitely blessed. What the heck? Mr. Xiang really knows how to climb trees. Oh my god, is he the reincarnation of Wukong? It's such a tall tree and he's wearing leather shoes. Yet he managed to climb it in minutes. The scene was chaotic. Xiang Feng quickly climbed up the tree while Xiang Yin lectured him under the tree. Xiangyi explained feebly that she wanted to eat junk food, so Xiang Feng bought it for her. Xiang Yin hollered at Xiang Feng, who was on the tree. Tutu wants to eat junk food, so why did you buy it for her? You're already in your 30s. Can't you save her some trouble? Xiang Feng sobbed. I've been wronged. Xiang Yin turned to look at Xiangyi and said, Tutu, don't be afraid. I'm only scolding that jerk. I'm not scolding Tutu at all. In the live stream, Xiang Feng is a double standard online. Grandpa is a double standard online. Xiang Feng is so pitiful. Ah, but why do I feel like laughing so much? Xiangyi still wanted to explain, but she was pulled into the living room by Madame Xiang. Xiang Feng, on the other hand, was lectured by Xiang Yin for half an hour. He had to look up at the sky at a 45-degree angle without crying. Ah, why am I always the one who gets hurt? After the Xiang family arrived, Xiangyi went to the kitchen to prepare lunch. The netizens thought that she would cook a sumptuous banquet today, but to their surprise, it turned out to be very ordinary, home-cooked dishes. Stir-fried shrimps with cucumber, winter melon and pork ribs soup, scrambled eggs with tomatoes, boiled vegetables. Xianxia helped out and the two of them had a tacit understanding of each other. The kitchen door wasn't closed and Madame Xiang looked at the warm and harmonious scene in the kitchen with a look of relief in her eyes. Madame Xiang in particular liked Xianxia more and more. She recalled the conversation that Xianxia had with them in the study of the old residence. Xiangyi did not know about that conversation. Xianxia, who had been meticulous in everything she did since she was a child and had impeccable etiquette and social skills, had taken out a stack of documents like a rash young man that day. All of his real estate, insurance, savings and collections were under Xiangyi's name. Xiang Yin humphed coldly and said, We don't care about that. Our family's little rabbit is doted on by our family. Xianxia was silent for a long time. The man looked sincere and gentle. I've schemed for 27 years, but after meeting her, I don't want to scheme anymore. Xiang Yin was instantly at a loss for words. I may not be able to give you much, but it's all I have. I won't restrain my mother like my father did. I'll give her complete freedom. Like you too, I hope that Tutu can live a free, bright, lively and unrestrained life in the future. The memories were still vivid in his mind. Madame Xiang covered her mouth and chuckled, her eyes filled with joy. Little Rabbit has chosen the person she likes, and the other party is also firmly in love with her. Great. At this moment Xiao Naofu appeared at Xiang Yin's feet and looked at the unfamiliar and ferocious old man curiously. Xiang Yin exclaimed, Get it away. What's the point of raising these cats and dogs? They have so many germs on them. Xiang Yin didn't like cats, which was also the reason why Xiangyi didn't bring Xiao Naofu back to the old residence. Xiao Naofu looked at Xiang Yin with its icy blue eyes and tilted its head slightly, feeling both innocent and hurt. Meow. Xiang Yin was speechless. How can there be such an adorable kitten in this world? Chapter 918. Xiang Yu was about to carry Xiao Naofu away when he heard his grandfather coughing softly. I don't think it's very dirty, Xiang Yu explained. Xiao Naofu is very clean. It bathes regularly to remove insects and trim its nails. It also licks its fur every day. Xiang Yin said with an amiable gaze, Is that so? Come on, let Grandpa hug it. Xiang Yu thought, he's already so old it's not appropriate for him to hug Grandpa. After going through an internal struggle that no one knew about, he extended his arm towards Xiang Yin. Xiang Yin was confused. Xiang Yu was confused. After a few seconds of silence, Xiang Yin asked, What are you doing? I want to hug Xiao Naofu. Xiang Yu was dumbfounded. The esports guru retracted his hand awkwardly, wishing he could dig a hole and bury himself in it. Xiao Naofu's eyes lit up and it took lazy and adorable steps before jumping onto Xiang Yin's lap. It then lay down obediently with its chubby little face raised and said in a childish voice, I'm so happy. Meow meow meow. With the cheat code that little white tiger gave it, it naturally could speak. However, it was afraid of scaring ordinary humans, so it meowed like a cat every day. It was like a dazzling and adorable light wave that hit Xiang Yin's heart. Xiang Yin rubbed the back of Xiao Naofu's neck, only to find that it felt incredibly good. Why is it so warm, adorable, and chubby? Xiang Feng climbed down the tree dejectedly and sneaked into the living room, only to see such a scene of Grandpa Xiang and Xiao Naofu. Be good, Xiao Naofu, I'm Grandpa. Meow. Xiao Naofu, do you want a toy? Grandpa will buy it for you. Grandpa has money. Meow meow. Xiao Naofu, you're almost 6 months old, it's time for you to have a wife. Do you think Grandpa should buy you a wife or find you a child bride? Meow meow meow. The little kitten snuggled up in Xiang Yin's arms and let him stroke her belly. She was so comfortable that she kept snoring. Xiang Feng was speechless. Who's your biological son? Is my status in the family lower than Xiao Naofu's now? It was fine if Xiang Feng didn't come in, but after he did, the contrast between him and Xiao Naofu instantly made everyone laugh. Oh, it's another day of laughter. Xiang Yi's grandfather, remove it. Xiang Yi's grandfather. Grandpa, let me hug you. Sure enough, no one can escape the law of fragrance. Dog head. Help, Xiang Feng's thunderstruck expression is too funny. I think he wants to transmigrate into Xiao Naofu's body. Time to eat. When Xiang Yi's voice rang out, everyone in the living room began to clear the table and serve the dishes and chopsticks. The audience in front of the screen also spontaneously took out their own lunches. Dry rice man, dry rice soul, dry rice man's spirit, dry rice man's spirit. Even if it was the last episode, he still had to finish watching it. Finish watching it. Even if it was a home-cooked dish, Xiang Yi made it look, smell and taste good. The color combination and the plate presentation were very appetizing. Xiang Qi took out his bowl as usual, but Xiang Yi was not to be outdone. He took out a bowl that was even bigger than his. At first glance, Xiang Li and Xianxia appeared to be much more reserved. However, upon closer inspection, one of them carried a small pot while the other prepared a large basin. It was really hard to eat. The camera panned and landed in front of Xiang Yin and Madame Xiang, who were both carrying ordinary bowls and chopsticks. The netizens heaved a sigh of relief, but they heard Xiang Yin say, "Old woman, did you bring the takeout box? Remember to ask Bunny to make another serving for us to bring back later." The netizens were dumbfounded. Is this the legendary saying that the older the ginger, the spicier it is? Chapter 919. The livestream was immediately filled with laughter and chatter. Xiang Yi's grandfather, you're such a thumbs up. This family is so fun. They brought their own pots and pans. Xiang Yi's grandfather is the best. He even prepared takeout boxes. I'm so envious of Sister E. Did she reincarnate as a VIP? At this moment, the cameraman took a close-up shot of the dishes on the table. The scrambled eggs with tomatoes were bright in color. The stir-fried shrimps with cucumber were refreshing and appetizing. The pork rib soup with winter melon was rich in nutrients. And the rice grains were clearly steamed. There was little salt, oil and spicy food on the table, which looked extremely nourishing. Some netizens complained, how can it be delicious when it's so bland? In the next second, Xiang Yi's grandfather picked up his chopsticks. It was as if an impassioned horn had been blown, and the battle had begun. Perhaps because Xiang Yi's grandparents were around, everyone seemed a little reserved while eating. However, everyone was relaxed and comfortable and they seemed to be enjoying themselves too. Felt delicious. At the dining table, everyone would bicker from time to time and bully each other. The scene was harmonious and heartwarming. In the live stream, I'm sorry I've slapped myself in the face. I've already finished 3 bowls of rice while watching the live stream. The feeling of having a meal together as a family is so wonderful. I'm tearing up. I miss home so much. Shui has really blended in so naturally. He seems to be more like his biological son than Xiang Yi. Madame Xiang even took the initiative to put food in his bowl. Even Xiang Yi's grandfather, who is such a proud person, told him to eat more. Just as the viewers of the livestream said, the Xiang family had truly accepted Shui. The interaction between him and Xiang Yi was filled with a lot of PDA. For example, Xiang Yi said, I can't eat rice anymore. Shui naturally took her bowl and began eating, giving the netizens a great shock. Shui, do you still remember that you used to have a serious obsession with cleanliness? For example, Xiang Yi said, I want to drink soup, Shui asked. You don't want pork ribs, you only want winter melon? More soup and less vegetables? Xiangyi nodded. Shui scooped the soup into a bowl and placed it in front of Xiangyi. It's a little hot, let it cool down before you drink it. And another example, Xiangyi, I need to wipe my mouth. Shui first wiped the corners of the little girl's mouth gently and carefully, then took out a tissue and put it on the tip of Xiangyi's nose. Use more strength. Not only did he wipe his mouth but he also wiped his nose. In the live stream, countless viewers were jealous. I'm jealous, is this what being in love is like? The untimely couple fans smiled like an ant. Today's candy was as sweet as ever. Suddenly Shui's phone vibrated. He looked down at it. It was a video call from his mother, Zhou Xian. He calmly answered the call, not hiding from the camera. Hello, Madam Zhou. Her tone was polite and distant. On the other end of the screen, Zhou Xian, who was wearing home clothes, was clearly stunned. She said angrily, You're not even going to call me mom now? Do you still have any respect for me? Shui, yeah, the weather is nice today. Zhou Xian became even angrier. However, no matter how she flared up and even attacked Shui personally, his reaction remained calm. On the contrary, the Xiang family couldn't stand it anymore. Madame Xiang said, Xia, a grandson-in-law is equivalent to half a grandson. From now on Shui will be my grandson. If you don't dote on him, I will. Xiang Yin was even more ruthless. There are some things that should be said and some that shouldn't be said. If there's something that shouldn't be said, just keep it to yourself. Do you still need an old man like me to teach you such simple logic? Chapter 920. Thank you, we will live happily ever after. Changyi smiled. Do you have anything else to say? Zhou Xian felt that she was being unreasonable. Why didn't they care if their family didn't wish them well? Although I don't think it's appropriate to talk about your elders like this. I think you're really contradictory. You don't treat Shui as your son, but you ask Shui to treat you as his mother. You don't respect Shui at all, but you ask Shui to respect you. Since you hate him so much, why do you still ask him to care about you? Xiangyi's words hit the nail on the head and hit Zhou Xian right on the head. The color drained from her face in an instant, as if her deepest secret had been exposed. The netizens suddenly understood. No wonder, they felt that something was wrong with Zhou Xian. So that was why. Sister was right. Since she never treated Shui as her son, why did she act like a mother now? Who was she trying to disgust? Whether you wish him well or not, I thank you. Thank you for giving Shui life. Thank you for bringing him into this world, but please, stop torturing him. He has never done anything wrong. Zhou Xian only found it funny. I'm torturing him? Then do you know how I feel every time I see his annoying face on TV or on my phone? Why does he keep appearing in front of me? I want him to disappear. Disappear forever. Not only were the Xiang family angry, but the netizens were also furious, especially Shui's sister. Why did his biological mother treat him like this when he was as bright and unreachable as a star? Zhou Xian still wanted to say something, but Xiangyi made a prompt decision and hung up on her, blacklisting her. After doing all this smoothly, Xiangyi looked at Shui in embarrassment. Did I act on my own accord? After all, she's your mother. No, I should be the one thanking you, Xiangyi, for helping me do something that I couldn't make up my mind to do. Shui rubbed her little head and said, I'm sorry to have affected everyone's mood. Madame Xiang pretended to be angry. What are you talking about? We're all family, so don't treat me like an outsider in the future. Xiang Yin's tone was fierce, but his words were heartwarming. The next time she contacts you, give me your phone. I'll stand up for you. Shui's thin lips moved slightly and her long eyelashes drooped. He didn't know how to respond to this kind of pure concern from his family, as he had never gotten it. The Shu family was not close to each other. Out of courtesy, he had informed his grandparents about his engagement with Xiangyi, but they were unwilling to show up and only sent some gifts from the butler. As for Zhou Xian, he didn't mention it at all, so he didn't know where she heard the news from. Buzz buzz, Xiangyi's phone vibrated. She checked it and was stunned. Shui, Uncle Shu sent me an email. It's a video. Shui said, go ahead. I'm fine. Xiangyi pursed her lips and clicked play. The image shook and it took a few seconds for it to stabilize. What entered everyone's eyes was a thin and pale face, but it did not lose the elegance of a scholar. Ho tu I'm Uncle Shi. When Shi Yuan smiled, his eyes resembled Shi Sui even more. I'm rarely sober now and maybe even less in the future. So, I'm afraid that if I don't say some things now, I won't have the chance to say them again. Chapter 921. In fact, Xiangyi didn't have much of an impression of Shi Yuan. She only vaguely remembered that every time she went to his house during the Lunar New Year, he would smile gently and give out candy to each child. He would also give her an extra set and remind her to keep it in her pocket. Shi Yuan cleared his throat, seemingly wanting to continue, but he stopped himself with a helpless expression. I'm really getting old. He sighed and continued, I'll just say whatever comes to mind then. You don't mind me. I heard that you and Shi Sui are getting engaged. I'm very happy really. Shi Sui. I've let him down. I didn't fulfill my responsibility as a father. I haven't been in a good mental state all these years. When he needed help the most, I couldn't support him. Instead, he has to take care of me in addition to his career at such a young age. Shi Yuan's narration was very gentle, and there was no trace of paranoia in his tone. I'm very worried that my failed marriage with his mother will affect his view of love. Fortunately, he met you. You're a good child. In the future, I'll leave him in your care. In addition, I have some antiques and artworks in my collection that have all been transferred to your name. Tutu, it's just a small token of my appreciation. Shi Yuan seemed to be a little apologetic. This is all that I can give you, and him. The video came to an abrupt end. Xiangyi's eyelashes fluttered and she subconsciously looked at Shi Sui. Shi Sui was leaning back in his chair with a calm expression, but Xiangyi could sense that his emotions had fluctuated. Xiang Yin and Madame Xiang looked at each other and sighed. The match made in heaven back then had become an ill-fated relationship that had been entangled for many years. For a moment they didn't know who was the one who had planted the karma. In the live stream, many people in the comments section were tearing up. I don't know why, but I just feel like crying. Humans are indeed complicated creatures. Daddy sure isn't a good husband, but I feel like he's still a good father. Maybe it would have been better if Daddy sure and Mommy sure hadn't met. There are indeed many things in this world that can't be judged by absolute black and white, right and wrong. However, there were also netizens who keenly caught the main point. Everyone, you may cry, but don't forget the key word that Daddy sure and Mommy sure mentioned. Engagement. Have some knowledge, my friends. Netizens, huh? The netizens, wow. After the proposal, he immediately got engaged. What kind of godly speed was this? Sure, Ingdi and Sister E are getting engaged. F***ck, zoom in and look at the layout of the living room. There are details everywhere. Can I get a membership? Hurry up and play the engagement ceremony. When will the wedding ceremony be arranged? Don't stop me, I want to charge money. The comment section was filled with screams, and the number of online viewers kept increasing. Ever since overseas netizens learned that Two Under One Roof was streamed live every day, the number of online viewers doubled. Especially when they found out that today was the last episode, the traffic exploded. Since the start of the livestream in the morning, the number of viewers had exceeded 50 million. And it was still growing, 60 million. 70 million, 80 million. All over the world, countless people were watching this live broadcast. Xiang Yin said, we're all family, there's no need to stick to those complicated formalities. Let's just go through the simple process. Madame Xiang held Shi Sui's hand and said with an amiable smile, like I said, Shi Sui is my grandson. I'll represent your family, okay? Chapter 922. Under everyone's gazes, Xiang Yin said, we're all family, so there's no need to stick to those complicated formalities. Let's just go through the simple process. I'm here to hold today's engagement ceremony on behalf of Tutu's family. Madame Xiang held Shi Sui's hand and said with an amiable smile, I just said that Shi Sui is my grandson, so I'll represent your family, okay? Shi Sui was stunned for a moment, but she then said in a hoarse voice. Shi Sui's sister burst into tears when she saw this scene. Sob, old Mrs. Xiang is so nice. What a gentle grandma. I'm reminded of my grandmother in heaven too. Thank God for letting Shi Sui meet his luck after experiencing so many misfortunes. Xiang Yin said solemnly, from today onwards you two are fiancé to be. Marriage is not child's play, and your relationship needs to be managed by both of you. As your elders, we can only accompany you on this journey of life. In the future, the two of you will have to work hand in hand. Madame Xiang also said, I've always felt that there's no such thing as love. When two people get together they have to dote on and support each other. Some people have never met true love in their entire lives. The two of you are very lucky to have met each other and have chosen each other firmly. I hope that in the future you can both remember the feelings you have for each other today. You want to be loyal, determined, and sincere to each other for the rest of your lives. Xiangyi's eyes reddened and she nodded vigorously. Shui's gaze was deep and sincere. Xiangyi, I'll only have you for the rest of my life. There would never be anyone else other than her again. Even the demon king Xianxia and the scheming king Xiangli were slightly moved by such a touching scene. Xiangqi and Xiangyu were both easily moved to tears. Just as they were about to burst into tears, they heard sounds that ruined the atmosphere. The sounds could only be described as ghostly wails and unbearable to the ears. It could be said that a fierce man was shedding tears and a brave warrior was crying bitterly. Oh, Xiang Feng's face was covered in tears and he was completely immersed in the scene. He even leaned on Sangchen's shoulder, his tears and snot smeared all over. Sangchen was speechless. Little uncle, do you want to die? It's such a touching scene, yet you still want to bully me. Xiang Feng complained. Little Chen, can you be more humane? Sangchen. He closed his eyes and suppressed the urge to beat his uncle up. It was a joyous occasion, so she had to make sure that it was auspicious. Xiang Yu, Xiang Qi and Xiang Li presented the gifts they had prepared beforehand. They were all couple necklaces, couple outfits and small ornaments. Even Xiang Chen pulled out a card from his pocket expressionlessly and pushed it in front of Shui. He said awkwardly, don't worry. What Tutu has you should have too. Shui couldn't help laughing. Then, thank you big brother. Hearing the man's rippling tone, Sangchen's face darkened slightly. So what if you've become my brother-in-law? You're still asking for a beating. At the same time, in the live broadcast room, viewers from all over the world were connected through the two links of the internet and the live broadcast. Countless people sent their blessings to him. He. Untimely is real. Hey, Shui and Yichon must be happy. May God bless your love forever. I've been waiting for this day for so long. Every day it's like watching a sweet idol drama. I hope that Shui and Sister Yi's idol drama will last forever. Shui, Sister Yi, happy engagement. Chapter 923. At this moment, countless netizens were trying their best to convey their feelings. Since Shui didn't receive their mother's blessing, they wanted to try their best to give her a blessing. It was as if that could make up for Shui's regrets. Shui and Xiangyi interlocked their fingers and looked at each other with smiles. There was a question and answer on the internet that received a lot of likes. The question was, what would happen when you meet the person you like? Hundreds of thousands of netizens liked the answer. As soon as I see her, a smile will appear on my ugly face. The netizens thought that Shui and Xiangyi were probably the best expressions of love. The engagement ceremony has come to an end. Xiang Yin cleared his throat and said awkwardly, eldest grandson. Shui answered in a warm voice, yes grandpa. Xiang Yin humphed arrogantly and said, if anyone dares to bully our tutu in the future I'll... He paused and seemed to have aged a few years in an instant. His hand that was holding the walking stick trembled slightly. Don't bully her. Our beloved bunny, how can we let her suffer? We agreed to let her be with you because we want her to be happy, not to let her experience the slightest bit of sadness. Shui straightened her back and said in a sincere tone, I will love her more than anything in this world. Including his own life. Xiang Yin choked with sobs, but he deliberately turned his face away and pretended that nothing had happened. However, he was still very upset. In the end he couldn't help but lean on Madame Xiang's shoulder and burst into tears. My little bunny. Madame Xiang was a little helpless. She coaxed softly, be good Tutu is just getting engaged to Xiang Yin. Don't cry, don't cry. Xiang Feng and the brothers of the Xiang family almost dropped their jaws in shock. Xiang Yin, who could scold 10 Xiang Fengs and beat 10 Xiang Fengs to tears with a single swing of his cane, was actually crying. Xiang Feng, a person's name, was occasionally used as a unit of measurement in the Xiang family. Usage. Sangchen's combat power is equivalent to 20 Xiang Fengs. Xiang Li's IQ can crush 30 Xiang Fengs and so on. As soon as Xiang Yin cried, the audience in front of the screen also began to tear up. In order to lighten the atmosphere and celebrate the successful engagement of Shui and Xiangyi, Li Jianyu and the others played the bouquet. Colorful ribbons filled the sky. Congratulations, Shursui Sister E, forever and ever. Happy engagement. Get married soon. Ha. Some people in the livestream also started making jokes. Shursui belongs to Sister E. I unilaterally announced that lawyer Xiang is mine. Xiang Li, hubby, when are we getting married? The child is already 5 years old and can call him daddy. Only children make choices. As an adult, I have all the choices. I don't mind having 4 more husbands, dog head. Shursui is my husband and Sister E is my wife. Thank you, everyone, for coming to my husband and my wife's engagement ceremony. The netizens were already happy enough about the engagement of Shursui and Xiangyi, but they didn't expect that there would be an even bigger surprise later, Li Jianyu announced. Because today is the last episode, our production team and Sister E have discussed it and decided that 10 netizens will be answering questions online today. Of course, you can also think of it as Shurshui's Sister E chatting with everyone. After you draw the number, there will be an audience member who will first check if your internet and devices are working properly. Next, we'll start drawing the number. The netizens were flabbergasted. Damn it. Little broken piece re-spy. Chapter 924. There were indeed live streamers who interacted with their fans through microphones, but who would have thought that they would want to interact with a celebrity? It was unimaginable. But today it would all become a reality. On the screen, a lottery program was activated. Then 10 lucky people won the lottery and a special staff member contacted them to confirm. After a few minutes, Li Jianyu received the news and shouted through the loudspeaker, "Okay, the first audience member is ready." Xiangyi and Shursui raised their heads in unison. The call was connected. A girl's scream spread throughout the live stream. Is it me? Is it really me? Shursui Sister E, can you guys hear me? I'm your untimely CP fan. In the live stream, it's a girl who's a genius. Are you there? Remove the surveillance cameras in my house immediately. Although I didn't get picked, I'm more nervous than this girl. Xiangyi waved at the camera and said, "Hello." Shursui also nodded slightly and said, "Hello." Hence, the screams in the live stream became even louder as if they were calling out an army of thousands. Fortunately, the first audience member gradually calmed down. She cleared her throat and said embarrassedly, "I didn't expect to be picked for today's interaction. Actually, I don't have much to ask, I just wanted to give my blessings to Shursui and Sister E. Get married soon and have 2 children in 3 years. We've already thought of a lot of baby names, you guys can take a look when you have time. Okay, I'll hang up now." Buzz. The first call ended very quickly. The live stream instantly exploded. "Sister, well done. She's so awesome, she's speaking the minds of so many people." CP fans are really worried sick. They haven't even gotten married yet, but they've already thought of names. The tip of Xiangyi's ears turned red, and Shursui raised her hand to pinch it gently, only to have the girl's ears turn even redder. Ahem. Thank you. This was the first time Xiangyi was embarrassed during a live broadcast. The Xiang brothers all looked at Shursui in unison, as if they were going to have a group battle if Shursui dared to say she was going to have a baby. Their family's tutu was still a child. Shursui smiled and said, "Thank you for your blessings, but these things, let nature take its course. Whether it is marriage or children, I will listen to Sister E." In other words, if Xiangyi wanted to get married, she could get married, and if she wanted to have children, she could have children, and vice versa. Only then did the expressions of the Xiang brothers improve. Soon, the second audience member was successful. "Hello, Shengdi and Sister E. I'm an extra working at the film studio. I'm what everyone calls a walk-on." The second audience member was a little nervous. "I'd like to ask Shengdi, how do you hone your acting skills?" Shursui crossed his arms and leaned back in his chair, relaxed and languid. I don't think I've honed my acting skills much. I just watched a few movies and suddenly knew how to act." Audience. In the live stream, although it's very Versailles, Shengdi is telling the truth. You guys can go watch his debut movie. His acting skills are amazing. I'm just kidding. I actually read some professional books and analyze movies. Shursui was not stingy with sharing his experience. Although I've only watched a few movies, I've carefully watched each one dozens of times. For example, I must pay attention to the details. Chapter 925. Shursui's voice was as gentle as jade, and she shared a lot of her insights on acting. There were even many things that the students couldn't learn even if they wanted to. For example, the handling of details, the sense of rhythm, empathy. In short, the netizens only had one thought after listening. Success was due to chance, but there was also a sense of inevitability in that chance. Who would be able to watch the same movie over and over again? Who would be able to read an acting book so many times that they would be able to memorize every single chapter? Xianxia's grand slam was due to her talent and hard work. The audience member was flattered and thanked him profusely. Thank you, Xianxia. I've taken good notes. I'll go back and think about it carefully. I'll strive to improve my acting skills and become an actor with solo scenes. Xianxia, good luck. I'm looking forward to the day when I can act with you. This high EQ answer was praised by countless people. Boohoo, Xianxia is so gentle. To be honest, this answer will definitely encourage her. I'm so envious that she's being taught and encouraged by someone she admires. To be honest, there are many so-called acting masters in the industry who charge hundreds of thousands for a lesson. I heard that they often attack and humiliate students. In comparison, Xianxia is so kind. Immediately after, the third, fourth, eighth, and ninth audience members all chimed in one after another. Someone asked Xianxia for the recipe, and Xianxia naturally taught them everything she knew. She even promised to record a complete production video and post it on Weibo. This way, all the fans who wanted to try this dish would have a standard to refer to. The audience was overjoyed and finally shyly asked Sister E if she could make a heart sign with her. Xianxia imitated Wan Qing's heart gesture. She put her hands behind her back, stretched out both hands and made two hearts at the same time. Her smile was full of vitality and vitality. The netizens exclaimed, "This is the feeling of first love. Mom, it's not the wind that moves, it's my heart that moves." There were also people who asked Xianxia how to study science and even asked several high school math questions on the spot. Li Jinyu broke out in a cold sweat. Although Xianxia was the top scorer in science back then, after all, so many years had passed. Who could guarantee that she would still remember those trivial knowledge points? In any case, Li Jinyu might not even be able to solve an elementary school question. Xianxia's sister even mocked herself. "I'm sorry. If Xianxia can't solve it, please forgive him. After all, I, Xianxia, am uneducated, and uneducated." He didn't expect that Xianxia could solve every single one of them. She even remembered the formulas clearly. The audience was stunned. "Brother Xianxia, you're amazing. I think if you take the college entrance examination you might even get the manner." Xianxia said lightly, "It's nothing. I just have a good memory." The netizens were in tears. "You call this a little better? More like 100 million points." With online interaction, the netizens' enthusiasm skyrocketed. Whether it was the number of online viewers or the number of real-time comments, they all broke records. 91 million. 92 million. 93 million. Almost every minute, the numbers were constantly jumping, making people's hearts surge with excitement. The last audience. Li Jinyu had just finished his announcement when the staff's voice suddenly came from his earpiece. He stopped the broadcast at the last minute. "Sorry, please wait a moment. We have an important announcement to make." Chapter 926. Everyone was puzzled, be it at the venue or in the live stream. "What's going on?" The camera panned to Li Jinyu's face, which was solemn and serious. Many viewers' hearts skipped a beat, for fear that something unexpected would happen. In the next second, Li Jinyu beamed with joy and began acting like a screaming chicken. The number of online viewers of our little break has just reached, yes, just now. It's over 100 million. The staff at the venue froze for 2 seconds before bursting into cheers. This day has finally come. It's over 100 million. Xianxia and Xianxia also looked at each other and smiled. Everyone has been working hard all this time. Thank you, everyone, for accompanying us to this day. Every achievement is a precious gift to two under one roof. The girl's voice was like the sound of nature, and even the gods had to submit to her gentleness. The livestream viewers were appalled. "Sister E is so eloquent. Good girl, I won't read your books in the bookstore." Woo, now that Xianxia said that, I suddenly feel a great sense of participation. Fellow livestreamers, please learn from Sister E. Don't treat your fans like tools or ATMs every day. In fact, as long as you put your heart into it, your fans will definitely take the initiative to pay for it. In short, we can give it to you, but you can't take the initiative to ask for it. Major media outlets quickly reported the news that the number of viewers of Two Under One Roof had exceeded 100 million. Two Under One Roof, a small variety show, a big miracle. The livestream industry is reshuffled again and content output is trending towards premium quality. The ceiling of domestic livestream variety shows, leading the new trend of the entertainment industry in the future. At the same time, Little Break was once again trending. #Little Break. ## The number of livestream viewers has exceeded 100 million. The only one who can defeat me is myself. More and more netizens poured into the livestream to watch the last livestream. After the celebration, Li Jinyu was so excited that he wanted to go to heaven. However, he pretended to be calm on the surface and continued with the queue process. Staff, please connect the microphone to the last viewer. The call went through. A gentle and kind voice sounded. Tutu, it's your mother. Xianxia was stunned on the spot. The faces of the Xiang brothers also changed. It would not be an exaggeration to say that the live stream. Mother? Sister Yi's mother? Huh. Didn't Sister Yi's parents pass away? Could Xianxia be lying? Black chicken and Spanish fish. Are you trying to use your parents' death to gain everyone's sympathy? The orphan in front. Do you know that some people bring happiness wherever they go and some people only bring happiness when they're gone? Smile. Damn you, Crawl. It's a joyous occasion, don't come out and disgust people. No, listen carefully, this voice doesn't sound very clear. It's like it's being recorded from some equipment. Xianxia felt her mind go blank. In a trance, she remembered the last scene she saw of her parents. The car that had gone out of control, the pursuit from the front and back, and the bumpy ride from the spinning world, as well as her mother's warm, blood-stained hand that was blocking her eyes. Our Tutu is the most obedient. Close your eyes and don't look at anything, okay? Xiangxi's voice was hoarse from crying, but she obediently kept her eyes closed. She was also seriously injured and didn't even know when she lost consciousness. Even the voice of the microphone was switched to a cold and rigid mechanical voice. Hey silly girl. Ahem, Miss Yang, I was asked by someone to fulfill your wish. Chapter 927. Although the voice was disguised, Xiangxia still recognized the identity in an instant. That chubby little white tiger? The mechanical voice continued. I am a hacker who happened to get a recording pen. After repairing it, I found that there was a recording in it. Today I found out that the owner of the recording pen was your mother. So, I hacked the security wall of Xingqian TV today and came over to play it for you. At this moment, in the programming department of Xingqian TV, the programmers were overwhelmed and at a loss for what to do. What kind of virus is this? It actually caused all their computers to crash. Even the most powerful experts couldn't even crack the most basic code of the virus. It was like the dimensionality reduction mentioned in science fiction novels. The virus seemed to have come from an alien and was far beyond the current technology. At this moment, the content of the recording pen was played in the live stream. To its mommy. Just by listening to the voice, one could imagine a gentle and intellectual face. Daddy is asleep. Maybe he has already gone to heaven. Mommy may be going too. Accompanied by Xiangxi's mother's voice, the sound of blood dripping onto the ground was heart-wrenching. The sobbing of a woman lasted for several minutes. In the live stream, many people had already burst into tears when they heard this. Saichen and the others also had complicated expressions. A moment later, Xiangxi's mother adjusted her emotions and spoke in a brisk tone as if she was telling a story. Tutu, I don't know if you can hear it. If you can, tell your brothers, okay? Xianxia is the child that I don't have to worry about the most. I know that he always deliberately puts on a cold face, but he's actually very soft inside. When Tutu was sick when she was a child, he would cry secretly every time his heart ached for her. Lily is very smart and has an extraordinary IQ. I'm so proud of him. However, I found that he's quite scheming. He'll trick you and Feng Feng into giving him Tofiacito. I really can't do anything about him. This is a secret. Chi-Chi is Mommy's sweetheart. I really like the dress he designed for Mommy so much that I wish I could wear it 24/7 every day. I often think of the image of him braiding your hair. Yu is usually a man of few words. He is very stubborn and has his own ideas. I believe that when he grows up he will firmly choose the things he likes and work hard for them. Well, he likes furry things very much. If he's too embarrassed to buy it, then please ask our Tutu to give it to him, okay? Xiangxi's mother sounded like she was about to cry. Qinchin and Lily can already take care of themselves. Chi-Chi and Yu have been carefree since they were young. The one I'm most worried about is our Tutu. Our little rabbit is so obedient, so fond of crying, so timid. She is a child who is even afraid of thunder and firecrackers. What should we do? Daddy and Mommy won't be able to accompany Tutu anymore. Mommy really feels sorry for our Tutu. In reality, Xiangyu lowered his cap, and when the camera swept past, the young esports god's eyes were red. Xiangqi sniffled, but in the end he couldn't hold back his tears. However, he quickly wiped them away with his hand. Xiangli pursed his thin lips and remained silent for a moment. He then took off his glasses, lowered his long eyelashes and closed his eyes. Xianxia was as expressionless as ever, but his trembling hands, which were hanging by the side of his pants, revealed his emotions. Chapter 928. Xiangyi had been very calm throughout, or rather she forced herself to be calm. When she woke up after the car accident back then, she heard from the doctor that her father had already lost his vital signs when she fainted. However, her mother's time of death was later than her father's. Hence, the doctor speculated that Xiangyi's mother was still alive when she fainted. Xiangyi resented herself countless times for not being stronger and more clear-headed. That way, she could at least say goodbye to her mother. She didn't seem to have told anyone about this matter before. How did little white tiger know about it? Tutu, you can cry, he said in a low and gentle voice as he pressed her head into his warm embrace. Xiangyi initially thought that she could control her emotions well, but to her surprise she burst into tears while in Shui's arms. The girl's hot tears fell onto Shui's lapel. She was crying silently and only her slender shoulders kept shaking. Shui gently patted her back and coaxed her softly. In the live stream, I can't take it anymore. I held back when Xiangyi's mother cried, but when Sister Yi cried I started crying too. Oh my god, Tutu's mother is so gentle. If only Mrs. Tutu was still alive she would definitely dote on Tutu. Sob sob sob, are those Auntie's last words? Was Sister Yi by her side at that time? How sad must Sister Yi be then? The audience's hearts wrenched up. In the beginning the netizens were criticizing Xiangyi, but now they were all feeling heartache for her. The pop-up comments were all comforting Xiangyi, but some were also curious about who the hacker was. On the top of a mountain, little white tiger looked at the screens in the air and sobbed while watching. Damn it, I hate watching such plots the most. However, it would occasionally feel a little emotional about the joys and sorrows of others. However, for some reason whenever Xiangyi cried, it would feel extremely upset, as if its heart was about to break. The little white tiger angrily took out a carrot and took a few bites before it felt better. Yes, that hateful rabbit spirit was right. When one was sad, eating carrots would make them happy. It turned off a screen that showed the scene before Xiangyi's mother's death. I've completed my promise to Lord Shui. This stupid woman is just a little better looking, a little gentler, a little better at cooking and a little more skilled. There's nothing good about her. She's a far cry from the rabbit spirit. The rabbit spirit is a great beauty. The little white tiger suddenly paused. It suddenly realized that it only had the rabbit spirit's memories in its mind, but it did not have the rabbit spirit's face. Perhaps Madame Shui had erased it. Although he looked gentle on the surface, he was actually very petty. In the past, no male creatures were allowed to approach the rabbit spirit. Don't think that I don't know that Lady Shui wants to have a nest of Tutu babies with the rabbit spirit. How can the current Lady Shui fall in love with another woman? In particular, when it thought about how Lady Shui actually gave up the opportunity to become a god and used her only wish to fulfill this stupid woman's regret, the little white tiger was furious. At that time it asked Shui, "Do you have any wishes that you want to fulfill?" Shui said, "My wish is to fulfill her wish." It even repeatedly asked, "Lady Shui, are you sure? Are you really sure?" The man's expression was gentle and affectionate. Yes, because she's my little rabbit. Chapter 929. The recording came to an abrupt end. The hacker also ended the call without anyone noticing. The programmers of Xingqian TV tried to trace the hacker's IP address, but the result was a blank. The programmers were dumbfounded. No way did we really encounter an alien? At the same time, Shui cupped Xiangyi's little face in her hands and patiently wiped away her tears. Xiangyi had never cried so hard before. Although she didn't make a sound, she was shedding a lot of tears. Tutu. Shui coaxed in a gentle voice. Uncle, auntie, I've never blamed you, so Tutu, don't blame yourself anymore, okay? Xiangyi nodded as her tears fell. Xiang Yin and Madame Xiang looked at each other. The Xiang family had naturally found the culprit of the car accident back then and made the culprit and his family pay a terrible price. However, they didn't know that Xiangyi actually had such a knot in her heart. Little Bunny must have been suffering all these years. In the live stream, the focus of the audience gradually began to deviate. Although, Sister Yi really makes me understand what it means to cry like a fairy. Xiang Yi, don't cry, Mama will love you like her own daughter in the future. I'm posting this on behalf of my mother. My mother said, Sister Yi, you may have lost your mother, but you can treat Auntie as your mother. I'll also send a message on behalf of my grandparents. Ime, my grandparents said that you don't have to be sad. When you visit our house, my grandparents will definitely treat you like their own granddaughter and dote on you. There were also many netizens who expressed their goodwill. She looked at Li Jinyu, who was crying like a fool. It turns out that Sister Yi is liked by so many people. That's great. About 5 minutes later, Xiang Yi calmed down and looked at the camera gently. Her voice was a little nasal. She said with a nasal voice, it's time to say goodbye to everyone. The netizens were flabbergasted. Oh no. Can't bear to part with the gentle Yi of the human world. Can't bear to part with the Longjing tea of the human world. Ahem, Sui. I can't stop crying today. Will there be a second season? He would write. For such a popular variety show, they had to get the original cast to do a second season. I'm begging you. 2 letters of blood. 3 letters of blood. Li Jinyu was crying uncontrollably. It was Wan Qing who continued the cue. Lastly, Shui and Sister Yi, do you have anything you want to say to the audience? I'll go first. Shui was wearing a clean white shirt, just like when the audience first saw him in Two Under One Roof. He looked gentle and elegant. First of all, I would like to thank all the staff of the program team. Doing a live variety show requires not only courage but also stamina. Everyone has worked hard these days. Secondly, I would like to share my upcoming schedule with everyone. Your outdated male celebrities will be joining the cast for filming. Shui's self-mockery made countless people laugh. I feel like Shui has changed a lot too. Being in love really affects a person. Thank you everyone for your constant support. Without you guys, Shui wouldn't be who she is today and there wouldn't be this small drama. The man said helplessly, lastly, I have a question to ask. I heard that all my fans have become my haters? Chapter 930. The Shui sisters replied one after another. Are you there? Did you just get online? Huh. You have fans? Oh, I've read it. Move back a little, don't block our view of Sister E. The netizens were dumbfounded. A fan is better than 10 haters. Not only is Shui invincible in the art of tea brewing, but he also has more haters than anyone else. Of course, teasing aside, the Shui sisters couldn't help but burst into laughter within a few seconds. Join the crew, join the crew. That man is finally going to act. As long as you watch Shui's works, we'll be relatives from different mothers. I'm looking forward to Shui's new works. The 3 Best Actor awards in the country have already achieved the Grand Slam, and the 5 Best Actor awards overseas have already won 4 awards. He's just short of an Oscar to complete the Grand Slam overseas. The Shui sisters were overjoyed as if they were celebrating the Lunar New Year. They also allowed the netizens and investors to once again witness Shui's popularity. Shui had both real capabilities and popularity. He was good at acting, good at the box office, and good at winning awards. The cameraman turned the camera to Xiangyi. It's my turn now. Xiangyi waved at the screen. Can you guys see me? In order to take care of some of the older audience members, the girl deliberately raised her voice a little to show her thoughtfulness. The audience was especially cooperative. Baby, I can see you, I can see you. Kid, your grandma is praising you for your loud voice. Yet another day of being awed by Sister Yi's cuteness. Xiangyi cleared her throat and said, Hey, it feels like we were still filming the first episode yesterday, but today we're suddenly filming the last episode. The staff of Two Under One Roof, you've all worked hard for the past 2 months. Thank you to all the viewers. Thank you for every click, comment, like and share. You're the ones who made small breakthroughs happen, breaking records time and time again and creating miracles one after another. My life probably won't change much. I'll go back to filming next, and when I'm done, I'll probably continue my current life of cooking, gardening and petting the cat. My family is still the most important thing to me. Xianxi's gaze swept past her grandparents, uncle and brother before finally landing on Shui. She smiled and held his hand graciously. And my lover. The girl's voice was soft and sweet, and her smile seemed to be able to cure all the gloominess in the world. The couple fans covered their mouths and screamed. I love her. She's my lover. Sisters. Give me a guide to flirting with men. I'm Sko. Hashtag 2 or 3 things about how my wife got together with my husband that have to be said. Hashtag. With everyone's support and love, I will work hard, resolutely and bravely live my life well. I will also cherish every kind person that appears in my life. I hope that everyone who is watching the live broadcast will live a free and determined life from now on. I hope that you will be gentle to the world and be gentle to the world. Goodbye, see you next time. Xianxia gestured half a heart while Shui raised his eyebrows and cooperatively gestured the other half. The two bade farewell to the audience, who also bade them farewell in the comments section. See you next time. I must see you. I'm looking forward to the second season. Sponsor Daddy, vote for me. I'll watch all the advertisements. Shui sister goodbye. Xiao Naofu little Shiji goodbye. Brother Demao, brother Ermao, brother Sanmao, Sameo Gu goodbye. Hegemen Zong Zong Xiang Feng Feng goodbye. Small breakthroughs goodbye. On this day, 2 Under One Roof, which had set countless records in the history of variety shows, came to a perfect end. Chapter 931. When the screen of the livestream went black, the scene was so quiet that one could hear a pin drop. They could almost hear the breathing of the people around them. It's over? Everyone knew that such a day would come, but when the moment finally arrived, it made them feel inexplicably lost. Wan Qing nudged Li Jinyu with her elbow and said in a low voice, "Say something." Li Jinyu sobbed and a snot bubble came out of his nose. "Mimi? Honey, why don't you do it?" Wan Qing was speechless. "How did I find such a boyfriend? Can I get a refund?" "Don't forget you're the director of 2 Under One Roof." The word, director, was like a stabilizing needle, calming Li Jinyu's emotions. He froze for a moment, wiped his face with a tissue, picked up the loudspeaker and said, "Thank you for all the hard work you've put in these days. It's all of you who turned a creative idea into a reality. It's all of you who turned a delusion into a miracle. The honor of Little Break doesn't belong to me, Li Jinyu, but to everyone in the 2 Under One Roof production team." Because of his words, the silent scene became hot-blooded and lively again. Little Break will always be amazing. Our Little Break is the best. Breaking the 100 million record belongs to 2 Under One Roof. Smiles that came from the bottom of their hearts appeared on the faces of those who were young or no longer young. What an honor. To be able to participate in such a grand event in my life. When I retire one day, I can proudly talk about the glory of my career. Li Jinyu continued, "I have to thank Shui the most. When I was at my lowest, she chose to support me without hesitation. Although I've always jokingly called you Daddy Sure, but I know that you treat me as a friend. Brother, let's have a drink later." Li Jinyu's eyes were red and he was about to cry again. In order to dilute his sadness, Shui pondered for a moment and said, "Have you never thought that my feelings for you are purely that of a father and son?" Li Jinyu was speechless. Li Jinyu held back his tears. "I treat you as a brother and you treat me as a son. Let's talk about our own?" Shui activated her tea-talk skill. "Well, if you want to think that way, I can't help it. Li Jinyu." The audience roared with laughter and the atmosphere was joyous. Li Jinyu couldn't help but laugh. "Also, the person I want to thank the most is you, Sister Yi." Li Jinyu looked at Xianxia and said, "You're the one who created the legend of 2 Under One Roof. You're the one who constructed the soul of 2 Under One Roof. You're the one who made 2 Under One Roof such a popular show that audiences all over the country and the world love. It's great to meet Sister Yi." Li Jinyu's sigh was not pretentious at all. It was so sincere that it moved people. Xianxia smiled. "I'm very lucky to have met you guys." Li Jinyu was not the kind of person who liked to talk nonsense. After a few simple words, he ordered, Then everyone, pack up and prepare to go to the celebration party. The staff left first. The Xiang family members were not interested in the celebratory banquet, so they all left separately. Only Xiangyi and Shui were left in the huge manor. The little girl sat down on the steps in front of the door, looked at the sunset on the horizon and stretched lazily. It hasn't been that long, but I feel like I've experienced a lot. Shui sat down next to her. Xiangyi asked, "Actually, I'm quite curious, why did you agree to take on this variety show?" Chapter 932. Shui said lazily, "It's nothing. I'll do it if I want to. But logically speaking, Mr. C probably won't accept this variety show for you. From a personal point of view, you can totally find other ways to help Li Jianyu." Xiangyi rested her chin on her hand and was a little distressed. "It's so strange. I keep feeling that participating in a variety show isn't something you would do." Shui chuckled and didn't say anything. There wasn't any special reason. It was just, he wanted to have a chance to be together with a certain little bunny openly. Even if it was a small and uncertain opportunity, it would be good. Shui wouldn't tell anyone that if Xiangyi didn't agree to participate in this show, then he wouldn't come either. He just schemed a little against Li Jianyu and hinted that as long as Xiangyi participated, he would participate. Then, his good son Li Jianyu, his good friend Li Jianyu really thought of a way to invite Xiangyi. Little did he know that Li Jianyu had also schemed a little against Xiangyi and told her that Shui had already agreed to come. "Why don't you come too?" That was all there was to it. Seeing that Shui didn't want to answer, Xiangyi didn't ask any more questions. She calculated the schedule and said, "There's still a week before we start filming. Why don't we go on a trip?" Shui, "Is there a city you want to go to?" Xiangyi, "Country FB city? I've been wanting to eat there for a long time." The young best actor's eyes were full of affection. "Okay, I'll listen to you. What about you? Is there anything you want to do?" Shui said calmly, "Catching up on sleep with you." Xiangyi, "Huh? Then we'll set off later tomorrow. You can sleep a little more." "This isn't what I think." Shui coughed lightly and skipped this ambiguous topic. "Go. Don't let them wait too long." Considering the popularity of Shui and Xiangyi, Li Jianyu booked a private restaurant with good privacy and confidentiality. However, by the time Xiangyi and Zhang Xian arrived, they were still surrounded by the restaurant's owner, waiters and chefs. To be precise, they were surrounding Xiangyi. "Wow. She's Sister E in real life. Big brother fan boss. Little girl, what do you want to eat? Uncle will make it for you. Uncle Pink Chef. Cub, Mama has finally seen our cub. Mama fan waiter." Li Jianyu was dumbfounded. Sister E is too ruthless. Men, women, old and young. Wan Qing said teasingly, "Seniority is the real deal." If it were any other celebrity being surrounded by so many people, some of them might not have given them a good look. However, Xiangyi was all smiles the entire time. She took photos and signed autographs. As they chatted, she even went directly to the kitchen with Uncle Chef to exchange cooking experiences. Everyone, wow. She's indeed our Sister E. The weather was hot and the room was stuffy. Everyone simply moved the table to the courtyard and enjoyed the cool night breeze as they gossiped in full swing. Have you guys checked Weibo? There are more than 20 trending topics in the top 50 that are related to Shui's Sister E. The Melon Forum is also exploding. There's a post calling for a second season and the number of replies has already exceeded a few thousand. It's now the most popular post on the forum. The same goes for short videos. The content of our last episode is everywhere, especially the part where Sister E cried. It's absolutely beautiful. Everyone was chatting happily when footsteps and laughter suddenly came from the door. The two groups of people looked at each other and the atmosphere suddenly became strange. Chapter 933. Outside the door in the center of the crowd was a female artist who was as thin as a piece of paper. Her facial features were exquisite and beautiful, and her skin was so white that it seemed to glow. She exuded a completely different temperament from ordinary people. It was Xin Ruohua, who had been hyped up as the best female celebrity in terms of goods delivery some time ago. She debuted as a singer and later became good at singing and acting. Regardless of her acting skills, her fans regarded her as a goddess because of her outstanding appearance. Some time ago, on the day that Xiangyi, Shui, and Yan Kai started a live broadcast in and out of China, her fans tried to tear Xiangyi apart, but ended up losing face instead. However, in today's entertainment industry, black celebrities were also popular. Shen Ruohua relied on that popularity to increase her salary by a lot. Moreover, whether it was a coincidence or intentional, Shen Ruohua also participated in a live broadcast variety show. The theme was about female celebrities who had debuted for many years and were remaking their debut as a girl group. Although it wasn't as popular as Two Under One Roof, there were still about 10 million online viewers during several live broadcasts. When the director of the girl group's live broadcast saw Li Jinyu, his eyes lit up instantly. He stepped forward and fawned over him for a long time before waving his hand. "Waiter, move out the table in our private room, we'll also sit in the courtyard and eat." After the waiter moved the table, he slapped his head and pretended to apologize. "Director Li, you don't mind, do you? It's all my fault, I'll punish myself with 3 glasses later. To be honest, I just want to bask in the joy of your show." The corners of Li Jianyu's mouth twitched slightly, but he couldn't say anything, so he could only laugh it off. The staff of Two Under One Roof visibly fell silent. Isn't this deliberately making things difficult for others? However, the director of the girl group was thick-skinned and asked Li Jianyu for advice on how to do a live broadcast variety show. At the beginning, Li Jianyu seriously explained, "First, the market positioning. This is very important. You have to grasp the right point. What the audience likes to watch now is not just hair-pulling and catfights. They can also watch heartwarming and healing." However, the director of the girl group always retorted, Director Li, I'll call you brother. I understand what you're saying, I understand." Not only that, he kept picking on Li Jianyu's faults and then showing off how good his concept and planning was. Could be said that he vividly explained what it meant to be annoying. His catchphrase was "tell the truth." He had repeated it so many times that everyone's ears felt like calluses had formed on them. It was fine if he was the only one who was annoying, but there was more to come. Shen Ruohua first mentioned, intentionally or otherwise, that she had accepted a luxury brand endorsement deal and appeared on the cover of a few fashion magazines. She had even been invited to the official Mid-Autumn Festival Gala, blah blah. Then she talked about her maintenance secrets, such as putting on 5 facial masks every day, even covering her feet. She also had to take a bath, use luxurious essential oils and use expensive aromatherapy. Then she changed the topic. "As for me, I won't be like some girls who only know how to revolve around the stove. I'll lose myself and only know how to please others, thinking that only by grabbing a man's stomach can I grab a man's heart. As a woman of the new era, you have to be independent, strong and have your own ideas. The books say that cooking is objectifying women. We women have to pursue our own rights. You know, this is called women's rights." She laughed sweetly. Of course, some girls definitely don't know about these advanced concepts. Chapter 934. This speech had a remarkable effect. It successfully made the entire courtyard fall silent. Li Jinyu understood. Are they treating me and the program crew like fools? Huh. I'll teach you how to behave. Li Jinyu pretended to be amazed. Wow, Goddess Shin, you're so insightful. I wonder which masterpiece it is. Can I go and read it? The girl group's director's expression changed slightly. With his skills, he could naturally tell that Li Jinyu was deliberately pretending to be crazy. Just as he was about to remind Shen Ruohua, Wan Qing proposed a toast to him. "Director Ding, here's to you. I wonder if you're interested in variety shows? I have some connections here." Director Ding's eyes lit up and he instantly felt that the benefits at hand were more important. He lowered his voice and chatted with Wan Qing excitedly. Thus, everyone present heard Shen Ruohua say the title of a book. "Women are born princesses and are destined to be spoiled by men." It's such a famous book, yet you guys haven't read it? Someone secretly searched for it. Yes, the book's label was labeled as chicken soup for the feelings of both sexes. That's it? That's it? Li Jinyu said. I'm good. What a good name. I must buy one. Shen Ruohua had always liked being flattered. She combed her hair and said confidently, "After reading this book, you'll understand what real women's rights are." As soon as she finished speaking, Xianxia happened to come out of the kitchen. The girl was carrying a wooden tray with a small bowl on it that was steaming. She placed the bowl in front of Shui. "Here, don't you have a sore throat? This is loquat snow pear rock sugar water. Drink it while it's hot." A completely opposite scene appeared at the scene. The staff of Two Under One Roof looked at her with envy. Some of the staff of the girl group's live stream sneered, some looked at her with contempt and some whispered. It turns out that Xianxia is trying to curry favor with Shui in private. I really couldn't tell. Why is she pretending to be spoiled? She's just a bootlicker. Will Shui even care about her? Sister Hua is right. Girls are born to be spoiled by men. How can they spoil men? Xianxia doesn't understand women's rights at all. The next second, Shui pushed the crayfish and crab pincers that she had been peeling for a long time in front of Xianxia. Here's your favorite spicy food. What would you like to drink? Is hot soy milk okay? The people from Two Under One Roof didn't think much of it. He had no choice. He was used to it. It wasn't as if the two of them had only doted on each other for a day or two. On the other hand, the female group production team was shocked. Ingdi, who was like the moon in the clouds and the stars in the sky, would personally peel greasy and spicy crayfish and crab pincers for Xianxia? This was too unbelievable. Ruohua bit her lip. She picked up the wine glass, swayed her slender waist and walked towards Xianxia. Why did so many people say that she was not as good as Xianxia? Why did those brands treat her as a replacement for Xianxia? Xianxia refused to accept the endorsement deal, so he came to her? She wanted to prove that she was no worse than Xianxia. Sister E, I've heard a lot about you. Here's a toast to you. Xiangxi's doe eyes lit up. She rubbed her small hands and was a little surprised. Really? Ruohua thought proudly in her heart. Xianxia must be flattered. What she didn't know was that a certain little drunkard was dying of thirst. Then I'll drink first. After Ruohua said softly, she picked up the wine glass and touched her lips in front of everyone. Xianxia? She looked confused. That's it? That's it? Chapter 935. Ruohua was confused. She did not understand why Xianxia had such a reaction. Li Jinyu and the others had a hard time holding back their laughter. Tiske, the northern dialect, often teases people who drink less, saying, "Are you raising fish?" Using this logic, Ruohua was rearing goldfish. As for Sister E, the drunkard, she wanted to raise whales and sharks. Ruohua maintained her professional fake smile. Xianxia could only explain, "I'm sorry, maybe our understanding of quantifiers is a little different." She imitated Ruohua and took a sip of wine. Looking at the remaining half of the wine in the glass, her heart ached. Sob, 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 little sister, let's have another toast. No, let's have a few more. Otherwise, this wine would be confiscated by Shui again. Ruohua's eyes revealed a trace of relief, as if she felt that Xianxia was not hopeless. Girls don't need to be so humble at the table. Why should they drink just because someone asked them to? Not feminist at all. Wine table culture is trash to begin with. Although Xianxia liked to drink, she agreed with the last sentence and nodded her head out of social etiquette. Ruohua's desire to teach was getting stronger. Sister E, a girl should focus on her career. He can't just focus on the kitchen. How can a girl do housework? You should let a man do it. Xianxia was confused. Shouldn't we share the burden? Ruohua said in surprise, how can that be? How could a girl do housework? Look, you've been completely poisoned by the male chauvinist culture. The corners of everyone's mouths twitched and they were speechless. Xianxia explained in a gentle voice. In a sense, housework is also a kind of labor. Labor is the integration of subject, object, and meaning. Labor is endowed with natural and social attributes by human beings. It is essentially equal, so I think we should share it together and not push it to one gender. Ruohua? She curled her lips and said, forget it, I'm not going to tell you. You won't understand anyway. Everyone cursed in their hearts. Who was the one who couldn't understand? Xianxia did not have the habit of teaching others. She smiled politely and did not say anything else. Everyone had their own way of thinking. She couldn't possibly let the whole world think the same way as her. Even if they didn't agree with him, they could choose not to comment on him. Other than using his mouth for debate, he could also choose to shut it. Ruohua turned on her social mode and toasted Li Jinyu, Wan Qing and the others. After all, she was an A-list starlet in the entertainment industry, so everyone gave her face and drank. After a round, it was finally Shui's turn. This was the first time Ruohua had come into close contact with the legendary best actor. She could only feel her heart pounding. Many celebrities, including her, were as thin as paper in real life. Looking at them in real life, it was inevitable that they would feel as thin as firewood. But Shui didn't know how to do that at all. The man's body proportions were superior. He was muscular but not exaggerated. His facial features were impeccable. It was the kind of appearance and temperament that would make people's hearts race even under the devil's angle and light. "Here's to you, Shirindi," Shen Ruohua said sweetly. Shi Sui said faintly, "Sorry, I've quit drinking." Everyone in the production team knew about this. Li Jianyu even secretly asked him in private if he was planning to get pregnant. At that time, Shi Sui smiled and did not say anything. He did not refute. Shen Ruohua said, "You're a man. How can you refuse a girl's toast?" Chapter 936. Everyone. Excuse me. Could this be the legendary, large-scale double-standard scene? Shi Sui raised his eyebrows but his tone was still indifferent. "Thank you, I appreciate it." Shen Ruohua. She didn't expect Shi Sui to be so tactless. And in front of so many people he had embarrassed her. Xianxia, who was at the side, looked at Shi Sui eagerly with a few words written in her eyes. "I can drink for you." Shi Sui directly covered the mouth of the glass, putting an end to the little bunny's attempt to drink for him. "Did you forget what you promised me?" the man asked in a low voice. Xianxia averted her eyes. That doesn't count. She would never admit to the unequal terms she had signed in the bedroom and bathroom. Shi Sui chuckled and said in a volume that only the two of them could hear, "Looks like you still don't learn your lesson." A certain little bunny trembled. Shen Ruohua saw how gentle and doting Shi Sui was towards Xianxia and felt even more indignant. She brought out a sentence that was extremely lethal at the table. "Is Shi Sui looking down on me?" Everyone. What kind of weird brain circuit was this? Shi Sui, you misunderstood Miss Shen. There was nothing wrong with the way he phrased it. Shen Ruohua's heart was filled with a ball of fire. From netizens to brands, to Shi Sui in front of her, why did everyone think that Xianxia was better than her? She adeptly used the knowledge she had learned from the chicken soup book and mocked him. "Shi Sui, don't tell me, you look down on women? I wonder if the online bloggers who support women's rights will criticize you if they hear that you don't even drink the wine offered to you by a girl." This accusation made everyone at the table tremble with fear. Li Jianyu boldly kicked Shi Sui under the table and desperately winked at him. "Drink a glass, it's just a glass of wine, what's the big deal?" However, Shi Sui was even more stubborn than everyone thought. "Since it's a criticism, why should I care?" Shi Sui spoke unhurriedly. "I respect all reasonable and legal feminist movements, and I have always believed that men and women should be equal. I admit that there are some men in this society who, after enjoying privileges and preferential treatment, attack and hurt women in turn, but this isn't a reason to overturn the entire boat with one pole. Using unreasonable to resist unreasonable. Miss Shen, do you think it's appropriate?" Shen Ruohua's mind went blank. She had been studying art since she was a child, and her results in her cultural studies were average. Her knowledge was not enough to support her clear logic in order to refute Shi Sui. She could only emphasize again, "But I'm a girl," Shi Sui said calmly, "but I'm also a man. Why can a girl refuse a toast but a man must drink a toast?" Shen Ruohua said, You're a man. You're bullying me." The next second Shi Sui tugged at Xianxi's sleeve and complained, "Why is she like this?" She sounded aggrieved. "Shen Ruohua? Isn't this bullying?" She felt even more aggrieved. "Shen Ruohua?" This familiar and fragrant tea aroma made everyone at the little rag group feel a sense of familiarity. As expected of our human world's Longjing tea. Using magic to defeat magic. Using green tea to defeat green tea. This is the correct way to deal with it. Xianxi's little face was serious. "Miss Shen, please don't bully our Shi Sui. Otherwise I'll suspect you of looking down on men and discriminating against them." Chapter 937. Everyone. Amazing. My sister E is still the best. Wasn't Shen Ruohua implying that Shi Sui discriminated against women? Sister E directly said that she discriminated against men. This was a textbook example of giving her a taste of her own medicine. Sure enough, Shen Ruohua's pupils dilated. He couldn't take it at all. Xianxia said casually, "Is there anything else? If not, can you please not disturb us while we eat?" Shen Ruohua screamed in disbelief. "You're chasing me away? Xianxia, do you know who I am?" Xianxia said frankly, "To be honest, I don't know." She could criticize her, but to criticize Shi Sui? No way. Shen Ruohua was about to vomit blood. Everyone. Amazing. Sister Yi is still the best. Only Xianxia had the guts and confidence to rebuke a domestic A-list starlet like this. Although it wasn't very appropriate to say it out loud, but it really felt good. No one sympathized with Shen Ruohua at all. She kept talking about women's rights, but she didn't know that women's rights were really about equality between men and women. Instead, she blindly wanted privileges. Moreover, judging from the look in her eyes, she was clearly lusting after Shui's body. Even if Sister Yi agreed, they wouldn't. Shen Ruohua gritted her teeth and stomped her feet before returning to her seat. Director Ding saw that the situation wasn't right. He obsequiously asked for Wan Qing's WeChat and hurried back. Other celebrities in the entertainment industry might have some scruples, but these two really had nothing to worry about. After all, if they couldn't survive in the entertainment industry, Shui and Xianxia could only go home to inherit billions of assets, marry into wealthy families and live a boring life of eating, drinking and shopping. Shen Ruohua returned to her table. The more she thought about it, the angrier she became. Hence, she used her alternate account to post on Weibo. This is so annoying. What's so great about meeting a so-called model couple? Each one is more impolite than the other, hypocritical and disgusting. I really them. The man is alright, he has won a few awards, but what is the woman? She's useless except for her popularity. She owes men. She posted on Weibo in a hurry and didn't realize that she had logged into her main account to post a selfie today and didn't have time to switch it. And so, some netizens arrived at the battlefield as soon as possible. Wow, was your account hacked? She must have forgotten to check her account number. Tiskei Shenruo's goddess persona has collapsed. There are so many asterisks, how vulgar. You're using a smurf account, why don't you just say your name? I'm dying of anxiety. Can anyone decipher who this model couple is? Shen Ruohua was especially concerned about her manager. When she saw the Weibo post, she broke out in a cold sweat. Ruohua, what are you doing? Shen Ruohua used her chopsticks to pick up a piece of chicken breast. Chewing it, she spat it out and said impatiently, "It's tiring to maintain my figure. Can't I just have a taste?" The manager lowered her voice and said, "Hurry up and delete the Weibo post. You sent me the wrong number." Patter. Shenruo's chopsticks fell onto the table. She hurriedly deleted the Weibo post, her hands trembling as she did so. How could this be? She just wanted to scold Xianxia and Shui. What was wrong with that? The internet had memories. Even though she had deleted the Weibo post, there were still netizens who kept commenting on her previous Weibo post. Besides, many netizens were tagging her. At Shenruohua, hello, open the door, please sign for your face-slapping express delivery. The National Variety Awards have just nominated Sister Shui and Two Under One Roof. Chapter 938. What? The National Television Program Award. Shenruohua's expression was no longer enough to describe her shock. It was the most authoritative television program award in the country at present. It included all television programs, news, variety shows, finance, sports and children's programs. It was known as the Golden TV Award by the industry. It could be said that winning this award was the greatest dream of countless directors, producers and screenwriters in the country. Moreover, this award was only given once every 3 years. Many programs did not make it in time for the award when they were popular. Hence, it was naturally difficult for them to compete with the programs that were popular back then. There were many outstanding programs that even became forgotten pearls. However, this year, Two Under One Roof was really lucky. Not only did it repeatedly set records, it also made it in time for the award ceremony. The right time, the right place, and the right people were all there. Shen Ruohua bit her lip and said, "It's just a nomination, it's not like we're really going to win an award." Didn't an unpopular program win an award before? Her manager was about to persuade her to get over it when her cell phone rang. After answering the call, her expression gradually became solemn. After hanging up, her manager took several deep breaths before saying, "Ruohua, your guest list for the Mid-Autumn Festival Gala has been cancelled." Shen Ruohua stood up abruptly. How is that possible? Everyone looked at her. Her manager hurriedly pulled her to sit down and scolded, "Don't make a fuss. Do you think everyone hasn't seen enough of you making a fool of yourself?" The atmosphere at the girl group's livestream was depressing. They were supposed to have a happy meal together, but now there was only awkwardness. On the other hand, There was a sudden burst of cheers on the side of Two Under One Roof. Oh my god. We've been nominated for the Golden TV Award. Oh, it's true. I saw a lot of media outlets reposting it. Best Variety Newcomer, Best Production Program, Most Popular Program, Best Innovative Program. I'm going to cry, we're too amazing. In the courtyard, the two groups of people formed a stark contrast. One group felt as if they had fallen into an ice cellar. The other group was crying and laughing at the same time, overjoyed. On the internet, Shenruohua was also being tagged again. Shenruohua, dear, are you satisfied with the face-slapping package? Shenruohua, this is hilarious. Of all people to provoke, why did you provoke Sister E? Don't you know Sister E has the 100% face-slapping halo? Shenruohua, you there? Xianxia didn't get an award, but she was nominated by Golden TV in the blink of an eye. What about you? Xianxia, who has been in the industry for so many years, hasn't won a single award? What a joke. Even Xianxia, who has been in the industry for only a year, is a real joke. Those comments stung Shenruohua's eyes. What made her even more desperate was that before the dinner was over, her agent had already received several calls from brands who wanted to cancel their cooperation. Those endorsements were all rejected by Xianxia before they came to her, but now he had lost them one by one. Could it be that it wasn't that she couldn't compare to Xianxia, but that she didn't even have the qualifications to be compared to Xianxia? Come, let's get drunk tonight. After Li Jinyu finished shouting, he immediately added, if you can't drink, you can drink juice or milk. No matter if you're a man or a woman, don't force yourself. And you're not allowed to persuade others to drink. The staff felt warm in their hearts. Following such a director, really, he was so lucky. The female group really couldn't eat anymore. They went over to settle the bill and tried to get the boss to give them a discount. The boss said calmly, I'm sorry, our shop doesn't accept discounts. With that said, he waved his hand and gave a bunch of dishes and drinks to the group for free. Everyone eat and drink well. It's not enough to shout. The female group was speechless. Chapter 939. Seeing that they had no intention of paying, the boss raised his eyebrows. What's the matter? Do you want me to tip more? Everyone in the female group was speechless. Someone said indignantly, Boss, you're too much of a double standard. You're giving them food, fruit platters and drinks. Not only are we not giving them anything, we can't even give them a discount. Another person chimed in, exactly. Boss, you have to be honest when opening a restaurant. The boss laughed in exasperation. Everyone, my restaurant may be small, but the prices are clearly marked. I won't stop you even if you call the consumers to complain. Seeing how firm the boss was, the two people didn't dare to say anything. The group of people paid and left the private restaurant with their tails between their legs. As soon as they left, the boss looked righteous, but he was thinking to himself. Sob, they're finally gone. I can finally give Kiki and May more expensive and better food and drinks. Next, all kinds of expensive ingredients were served. There were lobsters, matsutake mushrooms, imported ham, top-grade beef. Li Jinyu said blankly, Boss, did you serve the wrong dishes? We didn't order these. The boss smiled and said, It's a gift, it's all a gift. Li Jinyu said faintly, The last time I came you wouldn't even give me 3 yuan for the change. The boss said righteously, How can that be the same? You're a guest, but Sister E is my stepfamily. Everyone was speechless. Boss, you're going a little overboard by forcing her to acknowledge you as her relative. Xianxia didn't refuse the boss's kindness in front of him. She smiled happily, but when it came time to pay the bill, she deliberately gave him a little more. After the production team of Two Under One Roof left, everyone in the private restaurant had tears in their eyes. Sister E is so nice. This little girl is really not bad. Our kid's EQ is too high. That night, countless people tossed and turned restlessly, unable to fall asleep. Some people were not used to not having the company of Little Pie, some were happy that Little Pie had won a big prize, while others, it was indescribable. The next day, the tutu landed at the manor in the afternoon. Xianxia was drowsy. Shui wrapped her in a small blanket and carried her onto the plane. They took a long nap on the plane. When they opened their eyes again, they had already set foot on the land of B City. Because of the time difference, it was still daytime here. Xianxia had slept for almost an entire day and was now full of energy. Coincidentally, Jiang Jujiu and Su Tumi were also in B City, so the three of them hit it off and happily went shopping together. The purchasing power of women was strong. The purchasing power of 3 women could only be described as shocking. Shui accompanied her all the way like a gentleman. He paid the bill with his card and even took the initiative to carry her bag. He bought a bunch of useful and useless things and even drank afternoon tea to replenish his energy. At that time Shui asked, "Are you leaving?" The 3 girls looked at him with puzzled eyes. "What are you talking about?" Yeah, I just started shopping." Shui, girls are indeed amazing creatures. They can't run 800 meters but they can walk 20,000 steps when shopping. Tumi teased, "Isn't that right, Shui? Haven't you gone shopping with girls before?" Jiang Jujio pursed her lips and said, "How is that possible? You're clearly very familiar with this business." Shui said with a smile, "If it's not considered acting, this is really the first time." Tumi and Jiang Jujio looked at each other and smiled sinisterly. "Then let's test you. What size clothes and shoes does Sister E wear?" Chapter 940. The 2 of them didn't have much hope for Shui. After all, it was normal for men not to remember. They just wanted to tease Shui. To their surprise, Shui really revealed her size accurately. The clothes are XS or S, and the shoes are 35.5 or 36. Jiang Jujio was speechless. Tumi was speechless too. The 2 of them looked at Xianxia in unison. "Sister E, you gave him a hint, didn't you?" "Yes, Sister E, you must have cheated." Xianxia shrugged helplessly. "I really didn't. We didn't even make eye contact just now." "So, Shui really knows Xianxia's size." Jiang Jujio humphed. Tumi secretly tightened her grip on the hem of her skirt. I've hit it. It's another day of excessive sugar." Next, Jiang Jujio and Tumi asked a lot of questions, some of which even Xianxia found tricky. However, Shui actually answered all of them fluently. He even knew that she preferred dried beans over fried ones. After asking for a long time, Jiang Jujio and Tumi's throats were dry and they drank several cups of fruit tea. Tumi was an artiste herself and she liked to gossip too. She suddenly thought of something and exclaimed in surprise. "Hasn't your show only been live-streamed for 2 months? But it's impossible for you to know so much in just 2 months. Shui, have you been harboring designs on Sister E since a long time ago?" Jiang Jujio kicked her gently under the table and Tumi hurriedly changed her words. "It was a slip of the tongue. Silly. What I wanted to say was that I'm secretly in love with her." No, I mean deeply in love with her." Shui smiled and didn't say anything. Jiang Jujio secretly rolled her eyes. "Indeed, that dog of a man has been coveting Sister E for a long time." Tumi covered her mouth excitedly. "Mom, this couple is so real, Mom." Turns out it wasn't love at first sight, it was premeditated for a long time. She wanted to continue asking but Shui changed the subject calmly. "There's a pavilion B in this mall, do you want to take a look?" Tumi was instantly distracted. Sure. I just looked at the GPS. There are several super beautiful shops in Hall B. Sister, you can take your pick." Xianxia thought she was talking about gowns, but she didn't expect that when she went there she found that those shops were actually selling wedding dresses. Tumi chuckled and said, "Am I right? Isn't it beautiful?" "Buying this. Isn't it a little too early?" Xianxia asked uncertainly. "Ayaya, why don't you try it on? I haven't seen Sister E in a wedding dress before." Xianxia hesitated for a moment before being pulled into the store by Tumi. Jiang Jujio stomped her feet and followed him in. A moment later, the shop assistant pulled open the white curtain of the fitting room. A young girl in a wedding dress entered everyone's eyes. The off-shoulder design accentuated the girl's slender shoulders and swan-like neck. Her collarbone was exquisite, and her skin was milky white with a hint of pink. She bit her lower lip uneasily and asked, "Is it very strange?" Tumi and Jiang Jujio, who were sitting on the 2-seater sofa, were already dumbfounded. "Sister, if you don't go back now, there won't be a princess in Disneyland anymore." "Oh my God, sister, which fairy tale book didn't make you come out of?" Shui, who was flipping through a magazine on the single-seater sofa, had a look of amazement in her eyes. Ever since Xianxia appeared she hadn't flipped back a single page of the magazine. Bunny in a wedding dress. Why is she so beautiful? Tumi egged him on. Shui, why don't you try on some men's clothing? The design of this wedding dress is actually quite casual, you can totally wear it to the award ceremony." Chapter 941. If the fans of the untimely couple heard her words, they would definitely call her an expert. Sister, you must be the #1 dating expert. Wearing a wedding gown to the awards ceremony. Just the thought of it makes me feel so sweet. Zhang Jujio wanted to retort, but she couldn't bring herself to say anything. Although she felt that Shui was too much of a bitch and she thought that her sister deserved better, she was obsessed with looks too. She thought about the scene of Shui wearing a black suit and Xianxia wearing a white wedding gown as they walked down the red carpet hand in hand. Damn. Wear it for me. Xianxia said. Huh? That's not very appropriate. The young girl looked at Shui. She felt that since Shui usually kept a low profile, she probably wouldn't do something so ostentatious. Okay. Shui put down the magazine, adjusted her clothes and said, I'll go try it on now. Xianxia was speechless. Su Tumi exclaimed, Sister, hurry up and try something else. Zhang Jujio said reluctantly, Then I'll take a photo of the two of you later. You can see which one looks the best. If there was a first set, there would be a second one, a third one. Xianxia tried on more than 10 wedding gowns and she felt that she had never been so exhausted before. Even when she was catching up on sleep with Shui, she didn't feel so tired. Shui was very patient and cooperated to try on more than 10 suits. In the end, Su Tumi and Zhang Jujio both chose the same set. It was a black suit for men. It was clean and neat without any extra design, but it had high requirements for the figure. Shui was completely like a clothes hanger. He was tall, had long legs, broad shoulders and a narrow waist. Coupled with his handsome face, he looked even better than a supermodel. The female wedding gown didn't have an exaggerated tail and just reached Xianxia's ankles. The hem of the dress was fluffy and girlish. Compared to a wedding gown, it was more like a gown for a banquet. The shop assistant was grinning from ear to ear. While the two of them were trying on the clothes, countless customers entered the store and bought the same gown. Even Su Tumi, who had always been known as a little expert in planting grass, couldn't help but sigh with emotion. The two of them are simply walking planters. Zhang Jujio said. Even I want to buy it, let alone passers-by. She created a small group and sent the beautiful photos she had taken earlier to the group. The few of them had a good relationship with Anan, and they all knew that Anan and Sichuanbai were close, so they pulled the two managers into the group. Anan was the first to come out and flatter him. He sent more than 10 voice messages in a row. Oh my god, you're so beautiful. Woo, I've been killed by my darling's beauty. Year XXXXXX, the day when you obediently wear a little skirt and make the world fall for you with your beauty. Sichuanbai, who was beside him, was holding a black notebook and using a gold fountain pen to record Anan's flattery. Yes, there was no end to learning. Who was he going to praise after learning such valuable knowledge? Was there a need to ask? Of course, it was to praise Sister E. Was Shui worthy? Xianxia felt that one of the group photos looked quite good, so she updated her Weibo account. Xianxia V. Oh, *degree***. Oh, I'm so hot. After a few minutes, she went to read the comments, only to be filled with question marks. Oh? Baby, you guys went abroad to get your marriage certificate? Have you guys heard? Why did I hear from my colleague that Shui's sister E is married? Ha, you guys are too slow. Let me tell you newbies, the two of them quarreled and Xianxia ran away with the ball. Shui is wooing his wife. Xianxia? What? Where did you guys get the script? Chapter 942. Take wedding photos? Get a marriage certificate? Get married? Run with the ball. How can you imagine so much content from an ordinary photo? All netizens these days are novelists, right? Xianxia was still in a daze when Anan called. After she picked up, she screamed. Aw, sistery. The bridal gown brand that you two are wearing has invited you and Shui to endorse it. It's the most luxurious bridal gown brand in the world. Sichuanbai, who was beside him, said in a calm and serious voice. The brand sponsor said that if you don't want to endorse it, a short-term business cooperation is fine, or you can be the brand's best friend or brand ambassador. Do you think that's okay? Su Tumi muttered to herself, is this what it means to be a top-tier celebrity? I can get an endorsement just by trying on clothes? Sob, it turns out that I'm such a noob. Zhang Jujio patted her shoulder sympathetically and said, Sister, don't cry. Look on the bright side, we can at least wear bridesmaid gowns. Su Tumi cheered up and exclaimed, I can do it again. Xiangyi and Shui discussed for a while and finally turned down the endorsement. Nan lamented, "Oh my god, can't you guys consider it again? I'm so heartbroken. His family has a high status in the luxury goods industry and the endorsement fee is also very high." Xiangyi said gently, "Both of us already have luxury brand endorsements. It's not appropriate for us to take on another one. Besides, we have to consider our fans too. The previous brand has a wider audience and a wider product line. This brand only has bridal gowns and many people may not need them. If we buy it just because we like it, I don't think it's appropriate." Nan sighed and said, "Ah, good girl, she's so gentle." Not all of them, but there were indeed some artists in the entertainment industry who wouldn't hesitate to earn money from their fans. It was really rare for people like Xiangyi and Shui to be so considerate. Besides, if we accept the endorsement, we'll have to wear their gowns at the wedding. My third brother has already begun to prepare a wedding gown for me. If I don't wear it, he'll definitely be sad, Xiangyi explained. Nan was speechless. "Hey, sorry to disturb you. Her own brother is making a wedding dress or something. Isn't this too doting? Alright, I'll handle it." Sichuanbai's tone was calm, as if he didn't care that the two of them had missed out on this endorsement deal. After hanging up, Nan asked curiously, "Don't you care about the money? At least tens of millions." Sichuanbai adjusted his glasses. "It's not good to take on too many endorsements, but the most important reason is, have you forgotten that they still have family assets to inherit?" Nan seemed to wake up from a dream. 6 days later. Tutu was stuffed with a lot of things. In addition to Xiangyi's clothes, bags, shoes, kitchen utensils and so on, there were also various gifts for the Xiang family. In the past 6 days, the brand of wedding dresses that Shui and Xiangyi had tried on became extremely popular. The brand was already inflated to begin with, but now it was even sweeter. They increased the price every day and were criticized by countless people. The fans were all glad that the two of them didn't accept the endorsement. Otherwise, who knew how many haters he would attract? In addition, the focus of public opinion was all about the Golden TV Awards. Even though there were no more live broadcasts, Shui and Xiangyi were still very popular. In the small and shabby live broadcast room, there were hundreds of thousands of people hanging up all year round. It was as if they were looking forward to the day when the blackened screen would come back to life. However, in order to increase their chances of winning, the other shows that were also selected began all kinds of tricks. Chapter 943. For example, they would release all kinds of scandals that were fabricated out of thin air, or step on the minor characters while boasting about themselves, or deliberately flatter the minor characters in an attempt to kill them. In short, the awards ceremony had yet to begin and the schemes had already been going on for a few rounds. Li Jinyu was so angry that he argued with the netizens online every day. On the eve of the awards night, there had already been subtle changes in the public opinion on the internet. Although many people felt that the minor characters could win an award, the other shows were not bad either. Perhaps the other shows would become dark horses. At 10 p.m. when the traffic on Weibo was at its peak, a well-known paparazzi marketing account broke the news frowny face trailer. "There will be a big melon tomorrow about 2 top celebrities, the kind that can make Weibo collapse." In an instant the entire internet exploded. The netizens were so excited that they started discussing under this Weibo post. What the heck? Top celebrities? There aren't many who can be considered top celebrities in the industry, right? What? Are YZZ and SJ together? Or did XWS and WN get divorced? Help, don't abbreviate at a time like this, okay? I'm so anxious that I can't eat anything. Could it be SS and XY? What kind of melon can they have? The awards ceremony is tomorrow. While the netizens were discussing fervently, some fake reviewers appeared and began to lead the discussion. "Well, I heard that the two of them did it. My friend's second uncle's niece's best friend works at Tomato Entertainment." No, that's all fake news. The two of them actually did it. That's illegal in our country. I think the two of them will definitely be banned tomorrow. Even if the Golden TV Awards are given to them, it'll probably be a one-day award. Someone on the Melon forum has already revealed that the child is already 3 years old. Xiangyi got together with SJ at the age of 18 and can't get married at that age. This melon is very credible. I bet it'll definitely be on the hot search list tomorrow. In the end, in the eyes of the passers-by, it became a mixture of truth and falsehood. It didn't seem very reliable. Shui and Xianxia were both in good looks and mental state. However, the possibility of having a baby was real. There were also people who came up with stories about the two of them, such as officially announced with the top movie emperor. After running with the ball, I became his white moonlight. Damn, Zai's mother became famous in the entertainment circle because of her son. After 3 years of loving a top movie artist, I also became a top movie artist. Xianxia saw Anan's phone by chance and followed him for a while. She felt as if she had been baptized. These people's imaginations are too rich. Xianxia suddenly felt that the worlds she had been to were not as bizarre as the stories made up by the netizens. Sure enough, art comes from life. Anan laughed so hard that his stomach hurt. My goodness, this is the funniest. You don't even know your horoscope and you can even divine your child's fortune. Xianxia, there's also this one. It says that you and Ingdi don't want to have children because Ingdi can't do it. This comment has over 50,000 likes and thousands of replies. Xianxia, she glanced at it and found that there were other netizens replying to the comment. Hashtag Shui can't do it. Hashtag. Delete it, let me send a dog emoji. Are you also a Shui anti-fan? What a coincidence, I'm shaking hands too. Lend me your phone. Xianxia took the phone from Anan and replied with a blushing face. I'm sorry. He can do it. Chapter 944. Anan was flabbergasted. Oh my god, what am I seeing? After Xianxia used Anan's alternate account to reply, she was immediately rebuked by the netizens. Oh? Are you really an anti-fan? No. If I say no, it means no. Haha, you're not Xianxia, how would you know? Xianxia was speechless. Hey, who's the anti-fan here? With mixed feelings, she returned the phone to Anan. Anan was still immersed in the public display of affection brought about by the words, he can do it. Thinking that he was still single, he muttered to himself, it's so hard for me, Xianxia said, it's hard for me too. The two looked at each other and sighed in unison. The next day, early in the morning, the Golden TV Awards Committee held a meeting to discuss the news on the internet last night. The award had already been decided, but now there were differences in opinion among the judges. One faction thought, I don't think this award should be given to Shui, Xianxia, and two under one roof. They're like ticking time bombs now. If they really do something illegal and get banned, wouldn't our award become a joke? Another faction thought, let's not talk about the possibility that someone is deliberately trying to stir things up. The original intention of the National Television Program Awards was to select popular programs, hosts and guests that the public likes. If we forget our original intention, then I don't think there's a need for us to continue giving out awards. Of course, there were also those who tried to mediate the situation, commonly known as the peacemakers. They were also trying their best to participate in the conversation. Hey, calm down. Have a bowl of mung bean soup. Actually, I think it's fine if we don't give out the award. You all have your own reasons. If you ask me, why don't we put it on hold and see what the marketing account is going to reveal? The group of people discussed from morning to evening, but there was still no conclusion. At this point, there was only 1.5 hours left before the award ceremony. Nancheng Arts Center. The venue of the Golden TV Awards, which was held once every 3 years, was chosen to be at the Arts Center. At this time, the nearby roads were already under traffic control, and the venue was heavily guarded. At the entrance, the red carpet stretched all the way. There were media reporters waiting on both sides, as well as fans who had managed to get tickets by relying on their speed. Several photographers and drones hovering in the air were on standby. The two red carpet hosts were ready and waiting for the director's instructions to start the live broadcast. The voice of the chief dispatcher spread to every staff member on the scene through the headset and walkie-talkie. Counting down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let the live stream begin. The two hosts revealed professional smiles. Hello, dear viewers of Xianxia Live. This is the awards ceremony of the National Television Program Awards. Welcome. Tonight the stars are shining brightly. The hosts, directors, and the main creative team of the TV show that everyone is looking forward to have arrived. Who are you looking forward to seeing the most in front of the screen? Which show are you looking forward to the most? In the bullet screen, although there were also the names of other programs, the one that appeared the most frequently and had the most comments was undoubtedly the following frowny face two under one roof. The directors of the various variety shows were all watching the live broadcast on their phones. At this time, their hearts were filled with worry. Our fake reviewers wouldn't have been bought for nothing, right? Chapter 945. For the Golden TV Awards this time, the other programs didn't have much of a competitive relationship with Two Under One Roof. On the contrary, the other variety shows all saw Two Under One Roof as their biggest enemy. There were only a few awards for variety shows. As long as Two Under One Roof didn't win an award, they might be able to win an award. Therefore, in the face of common interests, these variety shows chose to band together and get rid of their strongest opponent first. In the past 2 days, they had spent money to hire fake reviewers to influence the public opinion on the internet. They had also spent a lot of money to buy trending searches in order to expand their influence. They originally thought that the effect would be significant, but they didn't expect that as soon as the live stream began, the comments were all about Two Under One Roof. That was very annoying. Don't worry, God of Cookery was really ruthless yesterday. They directly created a time bomb. The judges of the Golden TV Awards definitely don't want to cause trouble. To be on the safe side, they definitely won't review Two Under One Roof! The assistant director of a certain variety show lowered his voice and whispered to the director. The director said, "I hope so. For some reason he had a feeling that the show would fail. I hope nothing will happen." After the host warmed up the atmosphere, it was time for the red carpet segment that the audience was looking forward to. The first to walk the red carpet were the top programs of the major satellite TV channels, such as news, technology, finance, folk arts, children's entertainment. In the era where satellite TV programs were declining, the faces of these people were undoubtedly unfamiliar to the audience. After that, it was time for online programs including treasure appraisal, documentaries, interview programs, talk shows, live streams, and so on. Be it the guests or the directors, the audience was obviously familiar with these programs, and the pop-up comments section also became lively. Wow, Teacher Meng is already in her 60s, but she's still so energetic. Ah, Cece is so good-looking. Why isn't she fat at all after being a foodie for so long? I'm burning with anxiety. When is Little Broken going to come out? Does anyone know the exact time? She has already eaten 2 bags of melon seeds. Amidst the anticipation of the audience, several low-key black commercial vehicles stopped at the end of the red carpet. The first to get out of the car was Li Jianyu, who was wearing a British-style suit. He looked completely different from his usual short-sleeved shirt, underpants, and slippers. Everyone in the live stream was spamming, "Handsome, who are you?" Well. He opened the car door like a gentleman and extended his hand to Wan Qing. Wan Qing was wearing a red dress today. The tailored dress accentuated her slender figure, and her red lips made her look valiant and domineering. Oh my God, Wan Qing's looks and temperament are killing me. The planner, scriptwriter, cameraman, lighting technician, sound engineer, and stage supervisor got out of the car one after another. Other variety shows would not have so many staff members. But Li Jinyu felt that this show was created by everyone together. If the conditions allowed, of course they should send as many people as they could. After winning the prize, everyone could share it. Even if they didn't win the award, they could still cry together and beg Sister E to make more delicious food. Hee. Li Jinyu couldn't help but giggle. Wan Qing nudged him with her elbow. "Hold my arm." What she meant was for Li Jinyu to bend his arm so that she could hold it. Wan Qing felt that since the two of them were so familiar with each other, they should be able to read each other's minds even if the subject was omitted. The next second, Li Jinyu happily took Wan Qing's arm and leaned on her shoulder like a big bird, smiling foolishly at the camera. Chapter 946. Wan Qing was speechless. The audience was speechless. Something seems to be wrong. I can't take it anymore. I'm dying of laughter because of my son. Director Li, please stop being a director. Debut as a comedian. Li Jinyu had yet to realize what the problem was. He chuckled and said, "I've always been the one filming others. This is the first time so many people are filming me. It's quite glaring." Wan Qing burst into laughter. She brushed her hair with one hand, exuding an alluring charm. "Yeah, that's right. What if I find a silly boyfriend? I can only spoil him." The door of the last car was opened. The cameramen and drones swarmed over and began filming from all angles. On the screen, a pair of shiny black leather shoes appeared, followed by long slender legs wrapped in trousers. Further up, there was a tailored black suit, a snow-white shirt and a dark patterned tie meticulously tied. The only color was the budding pink rose in his chest pocket. The live stream instantly exploded. Sure Sui. It's Sure Sui. He's finally here. Is it a pink rose? Oh my god, the pink rose's words are an oath of love that symbolizes an eternal commitment to one's lover. So sweet right off the bat. Who can resist it? After Sure Sui got out of the car, he held Xiangyi's hand and gently helped her out of the car. Even though the little bunny was wearing safety pants, he still paid attention to tidying the hem of her dress. Xiangyi was wearing the white dress that she had picked out the other day. The style and cut were very simple, but since it was a wedding dress brand, the details were particularly exquisite. There was a lace design on the sleeves, and the hem of the dress was covered with layers of white gauze, which was decorated with hand-sewn feathers and fine diamonds. Under the refraction of the magnesium lights, it was dazzling and eye-catching. The girl's slender and fair wrist was tied with a rustic ribbon and a white rose. Unsurprisingly, from the moment Xiangyi appeared, the comments in the livestream were so dense that they blocked the entire screen. Sister E. Sister E. Screaming at the top of my lungs. Xiangyi in a dress is so cute. Zai Zai is truly the most beautiful person in history. Details. They were all details. Sister E was wearing a wrist flower. Usually only the bride would wear it on the wedding day. I don't care if today is the award ceremony or not. In my heart, today is Sure Sui's sister Yi's wedding. White Rose's flower language. Beautiful first love. This was his response to Sure Sui's fan Rose. When I cry it's the sweetest. No rebuttal is accepted. The enthusiasm of the fans could be felt even through the cold electronic screen. The other variety show directors felt the same way. This was the result of hiring fake reviewers to slander two under one roof. If they hadn't hired fake reviewers, they would probably be nothing more than sidekicks now. However, it was hard to say now. Small flaws. Just listening to it sounds like a bad sign. Perhaps today would really become a lousy variety show that was nothing. Meanwhile, the meeting of the judges was not over yet. There was a stalemate as neither side gave in. At this moment someone exclaimed, "That blogger has posted a trailer again." Everyone took out their cell phones and saw that the blogger had updated a new Weibo post. Paparazzi number 1V. 8 o'clock, be there or be square. The announcement of the Variety Show Awards happened to be around 8 o'clock. The discussion of the meeting returned to the original point. Should we award or not? Chapter 947. If they did, what if the paparazzi exposed Sure Sui and Xiangyi's scandals? However, if they didn't, they felt that they would be letting Sure Sui and Xiangyi down. In the conference room, the judges were extremely anxious until a certain director who was drinking mung bean soup slowly said, "Why don't we just move the Variety Show Awards to after 8 o'clock? Everyone was speechless. Damn, is that even possible? However, it was really a good idea. If the scandals that were exposed were harmless, the award would definitely be given. If the scandals were exposed, they would immediately switch to another show. The atmosphere in the room suddenly became much more relaxed. Dear viewers, this is the venue for the National Television Program Awards ceremony. Let's turn the camera to the hosts of tonight's ceremony. The two live hosts completed their task and the camera then switched to the stage. The stage was decorated magnificently and the bright lights were shining. The four hosts were all dressed in suits or gowns and smiled at the camera. Ladies and gentlemen, guests present, fans present, as well as friends watching the live broadcast in front of your screens, how do you do? It's another summer. The hosts gave a cameo speech. The executive director probably knew that the live broadcast audience didn't like to hear such things, so he switched the camera back and forth and gave a lot of close-up shots of the popular hosts, directors and artists. In terms of popularity, variety shows were obviously more popular. Among the variety shows, Two Under One Roof was naturally the most popular. When the camera panned across several other variety shows, there were also a lot of bullet screen comments. But when the camera fell on the crew of Two Under One Roof, the screen was flooded with bullet screen comments. The popularity of the show were simply terrifying. In the dispatch room, the executive director immediately gave Two Under One Roof a lot of screen time. They invited the famous boy group C7 for the opening performance. After the host announced the acts, The on-site staff began to prepare the stage props. Taking advantage of this gap, Xiaomi whispered to Shui, "If only we brought Xiao Naofu along. It's so fond of crowds, it would definitely be very happy." However, Li Jinyu and Ruan Qing only thought that she had a second personality, and that Xiao Naofu was just an ordinary kitten. After some consideration, they decided not to bring Xiao Naofu along. Xiaomi felt a little regretful and asked Xiao Naofu for its opinion, but it also said that it didn't want to come. However, Shui chuckled softly and patted the pocket of his suit. Swish! A fluffy and white cat head popped out. The kitten raised its two pointy ears and meowed at Xiaomi. "Cute. Hee hee, stupid woman, this hoo-hoo and that dog man teamed up to trick you." Xiaomi was surprised and happy. She whispered, "Xiao Naofu." The live stream was boiling with excitement. "Aw, Green Tea Meow is here too. That's great. A family should be together. If only little Shiji were here. It's so strange, the official Weibo account hasn't posted any updates about little Shiji. Could it be that little Shiji is sick? Oh my god, I'm too easily moved to tears." As soon as Xiao Naofu appeared, my tears came out. "Oh, Shui, you can do it. Good luck, sister. Let's do our best too." When the director of another variety show next door saw Xiao Naofu appear, his eyes immediately lit up. The opportunity to embarrass two under one roof has come. This is like giving me a pillow when I'm sleepy.